My child, stop what you're doing. I need your full attention. This is not background noise. This is me, speaking. Now, I'm not in a distant heaven waiting for you to get it together. I'm in your room. Right now. I entered quietly, but what I'm about to say will thunder in your spirit. This isn't just a message, it's an encounter. So don't scroll. Don't pause. Don't treat this like every other video. This is divine interruption. Holy ambush. Sacred alignment. Every second carries the weight of something eternal. I'm speaking directly to what you've been hiding, questioning, praying, and before this ends, something inside you will shift. Stay until the final word, because what I whisper in this room will echo through every room you walk into next. And when I speak, everything listens, including you. My beloved child, pause. Yes, pause everything. Set down your phone. Step away from the noise. Hush the whirlwind in your mind. This very second, right now, is not like the others. It carries weight. It has been etched into the blueprint of time with heavenly ink. You may have stumbled across this moment as if it were just another passing thought. But I tell you, it was not chance that brought you here. It was me. The breath you just took is saturated with divine intention. You are standing in the middle of a moment I have crafted with sacred precision, a moment when all of heaven leaned in and said, "Now." Do you feel the stillness starting to settle? That's not ordinary calm. That is the presence of your God saturating the space you're in. This second is not common. This space is not random. This message is not just another comfort. It's a divine collision between my heart and yours. You've been living at a pace that has numbed your spirit. I've watched you rushing, reaching, surviving, but not truly pausing. Not really hearing. Not fully receiving. But I whispered into the fabric of time and said, "This is the hour to interrupt." So here I am, in your room, right now, with eyes full of fire and love, with hands full of strategy and healing. You may not feel ready. You may feel too tired to engage. But beloved, readiness was never the condition. Presence was. I don't need your performance. I desire your attention. Heaven has orchestrated this meeting long before you felt the tug in your spirit. A pull you sense. A sudden stop in your heart. That is me. That is your Creator saying, "I need your ears now. I need your heart turned toward me." Because what I am about to unfold in the coming minutes, it cannot be rushed, cannot be missed, and cannot be treated as casual. This isn't emotional. This is eternal. And I, your Father, am stepping into the room to begin what only I can finish. Child, let me shatter the lie that has whispered to you in the dark corners of your loneliness. The one that told you I was far away. The one that said I only dwell in high cathedrals or far-off heavens. Now, beloved, you're me. I am not watching you from a throne of distance. I am seated right next to you. I am not in concept. I am in closeness. I am not a poetic metaphor or a symbolic comfort. I am a living presence inhabiting your space in this very breath. My nearness is not a figure of speech. It is a holy invasion. My feet have touched the floor you are standing on. My robe has brushed against the walls of your room. The air you breathe has been kissed by my spirit. I am not above you or beyond you. I am with you, in the stillness, in the ache, in the sighs too deep for words. You are not alone. You have never been alone. My child, I've walked beside your silence and laid with you on sleepless nights. When you reached out for something real, something alive, the tug was me. Do you remember those moments when you suddenly felt warm for no reason? when a chill moved through the air even though the window was closed. That wasn't your imagination, that was my entrance. That was my spirit shifting the atmosphere around you. When the world forgot you, I leaned in closer. When your voice cracked in prayer, I gathered every syllable like treasure. My hands have been resting on your shoulders when the weight of the world tried to collapse your spine. I've been in your room every time you wept into a pillow and wondered if your tears mattered. I counted everyone. I numbered them like stars. You didn't have to shout to get my attention. Your very breath was enough. I felt the vibration of your pain, and I responded not with thunder but with presence. Not with lightning but with love. You looked for me in dramatic signs, but I came in the gentle hush. I came in the whisper that survived the war. I'm not far, my child. I'm closer than your next thought. I'm standing right beside you, and I won't leave when the tears return or when your strength wavers. There is no corner of this room I haven't touched. There is no memory too heavy for me to sit with. I'm not pacing the heavens while you suffer. I'm sitting in the shadows with you, illuminating the parts of your story no one else saw. And I didn't come empty-handed. I came with oil for your wounds, fire for your spirit, and truth that cuts deeper than lies. I've entered with divine intention to remind you that your room is no longer ordinary. This place, this moment, this breath, it's been sanctified by my presence. Let me make this perfectly clear. I am not visiting. I have made my dwelling with you. I am not checking in. I have made covenant with you, and I did not come to leave you as I found you. I came to shift the very molecules of your atmosphere, to route despair into destiny, to trade heaviness for holiness. And child, I don't need a door to enter. I am the door, and where I am, no darkness can remain unshaken. Where I am, chains melt, fear flees, and dead things breathe again. Yes, this is personal. Yes, this is real. You're not imagining me. I'm not a beautiful idea. I'm a breathing God. I am the flame that doesn't consume, the voice that doesn't condemn, the presence that doesn't pass. You've been crying out for encounter. This is it. I am not an echo of someone else's experience. I am your God, your Father, your Savior, right now, in your room, speaking to your soul in words that match the ache. I came not to observe but to transform. I came not to sympathize but to resurrect. You don't have to strive to reach me. I came to reach you. It's space between your breath and your breakthrough. I'm standing in it. A tear falling right now. I'm catching it. And this moment, this holy, ordinary, miraculous moment, is now drenched with my glory. You are seen. You are surrounded. You are sacred to me. My beloved, let this be your assurance. I'm not just near. I'm right here. My child, the silence you feared, the one that kept you company in the midnight hours, the one that made you question if I had stopped speaking, that silence was never a void. It was a sanctuary. I didn't leave you in stillness as punishment. I carved that space so I could step into it myself. You see, silence is not the absence of my voice. It is often the chamber that amplifies it. The world trains you to associate quiet with emptiness, with neglect, with abandonment. But I train you to understand it differently. In my kingdom, silence is saturated with movement. It is loud with the sound of divine orchestration. You may not hear the rustling of angels or the shifting of timelines, but they are happening all around you. The silence isn't empty, it's layered with the weight of my presence. You have walked through rooms where words failed, where prayers felt like echoes, but all along, I was there. not speaking over you, but forming something within you. You said, "God, where are you?" And I say to you now, I was in the pause. I was in the waiting. I was in the breath between heartbreak and healing. The world fills silence with noise to drown discomfort. But I fill silence with presence to awaken destiny. I wasn't punishing you with the quiet. I was preparing you with it. You learned to listen differently, to feel me in subtle winds instead of earthquakes, to trust my heart when my voice felt hidden. And in that process, your roots deepened. You began to grow in the places no one applauded. I watched you remain faithful in the fog. I heard the sound of your persistence louder than the cries of those who walked away. My child, you didn't waste that stillness. You sowed in it. You watered dry ground with faith. And now, even as the root feels still, it is not silent. It is sacred. You are sitting in the middle of a divine unveiling. What I've been forming in silence is about to speak loudly through your life. And yes, I know you long for booming answers, for signs in the sky, for a thundering why yes when you felt the most lost. But I chose a more intimate way. I chose to speak in the slow burn of a faithful heart. I whispered while you wept. I responded through alignment, not announcements. And now, what was quiet will become undeniable. The fruit of this silence is about to manifest in front of eyes that thought you were forgotten. But they didn't see the garden growing in your quiet. They didn't see me walking with you in the cool of the day, planting promises in your soul. And now that the root is still, I can speak again, clearly, deeply, unmistakably. Do not resent this quiet. It was never a rejection. It was the room I needed to draw closer, to sit beside you without distraction, and to deliver instructions that can't survive in chaos. This silence is not an empty hallway. It's a throne room. So lean in, my child. Don't fear the stillness. Feel the strength inside it. Let the absence of noise become the canvas for my revelation. I am not a God who wastes time. Every second of silence has been anointed. Every moment of quiet has been prophetic. I have not been inactive. I have been intentional. And now, the time has come to interpret the silence not as neglect, but as nearness. I have wrapped myself in quiet so that you might discover how deeply I dwell, not just in celebration, but in contemplation. Your room, yes, the one you sit in now, is filled with unseen movement. You may feel still, but heaven is stirring, and that stirring will soon become a shaking. Let this truth grip your soul. The silence was never empty. It was sacred space. And I, your God, your breath giver, your way maker, have been here all along, writing what could only be written in the quiet. Yes, child, you felt it, and I want you to know it wasn't your imagination. That moment when time seemed to pause, when the room felt unusually still, when your heart skipped in uncertainty while your soul leaned in with sacred anticipation, that was me. That was your Creator stepping into the room, not with noise, but with knowing. It wasn't a chill. It wasn't coincidence. It was the nearness of the divine brushing past your exhaustion. I came in subtly, like a whisper against the noise, like the scent of rain before it falls, and you knew something had shifted. You didn't have words for it, but your spirit recognized me. That's why your breath slowed. That's why your thoughts froze. That's why you felt the ache rise, because my presence doesn't walk into a room without awakening something. I came to brush against the bruises you've kept hidden. I came to acknowledge the ache you buried under busyness. I came, beloved, not with a flash of lightning but with a breath of eternity. You were too tired to articulate it, but I saw the hope flicker in your chest when you paused that day. When the world around you was loud, but something inside of you hushed. You felt it, that sacred interruption. You were scrolling. You were sitting. You were barely holding yourself together. But my spirit hovered over your weariness like a mother over her child. And in that hovering, I was healing. In that hush, I was holding you. Don't dismiss that moment as minor. It was the entrance of heaven into the hallway of your heaviness. That was not a passing moment. It was a marking one. I left my fingerprints on your atmosphere. I shifted the molecules of the room just enough to let your soul know you're not forgotten. I'm near. My beloved, when you sense that stillness again, don't run from it. Don't distract yourself from it. A stillness isn't emptiness. It's evidence. It's proof of my pursuit. It's the residue of my glory resting upon your now. I chose not to come loudly because I knew the volume of life had already overwhelmed you. I chose not to speak with thunder because your heart had been aching for tenderness. You've been bruised by boldness, worn down by demands. So I entered in gentleness. I slipped past your logic, bypassed your doubt, and brushed my love against your skin like sunlight on a winter morning, soft but undeniable. Do you remember the lump in your throat? The tears that gathered without warning? That wasn't weakness. That was recognition. That was your soul responding to its maker. That was your spirit coming alive under the shadow of the Almighty. That invisible presence that you almost questioned. That was me. And I will come again, again, and again, until you don't just recognize me, but respond to me. Until you stop brushing it off as emotion and start bowing in reverence. Until you understand that when heaven moves in silence, it's because the miracle needs no introduction, only participation. And child, I'm not just visiting, I'm remaining. I don't brush past to tease you with temporary hope. I pass by to plant something eternal, something weighty, something wild with possibility. You don't need more noise. You need more nearness. And I, the Lord your God, will keep coming to you in the ways your heart can receive, because I know your threshold. I know your exhaustion. I know exactly what will revive you and what will crush you. So I come, precisely, prophetically, purposefully, with touches of glory and waves of gentleness. Don't underestimate the moments where I feel near but say little. That's me tuning your spirit to my breath, preparing your soul to carry my presence without panic. This is only the beginning. The brushes will become embraces. The flickers will become flames. And before long, you will stop asking, "Was that you?" and start declaring, "You're here." Oh, my precious child, you have no idea how much of heaven has moved in response to your sighs. Those moments when you didn't have the strength to pray with words, when your chest rose and fell under the weight of invisible burdens, I caught every exhale. I felt every tremble in your breath. The world may have overlooked it, may have heard nothing, but I heard everything. Your sigh didn't vanish into thin air. It wasn't dismissed by heaven. It landed in the center of my presence, heavy with the weight of all you couldn't say. You've whispered things to ceilings, to darkness, to no one at all, thinking maybe, just maybe, I might hear. I did. I always did. Every tired breath, every wordless cry, every moment you collapsed into silence, they were all gathered like incense before my throne. You think you need eloquence to move me. No, child. You need honesty. And there is nothing more honest than a sigh soaked in surrender. I am the God who translates tears, who understands groans, who interprets the language of the weary. Your sighs have been louder to me than the shout of multitudes. They've been more sacred than songs sung with masked thong, because they came from the part of you that has no filter. from the depths of disappointment and the edges of endurance. That moment when you lean your head back, close your eyes, and let out that long, heavy breath. That was prayer. That was intercession. That was the sound of a warrior too tired to roar, yet too faithful to quit. And I honored it. I recorded it. I responded to it. You see, my child, I don't just respond to declarations. I respond to desperation. I don't need polite prayers. I crave authentic ones. I don't sit on a throne of performance. I dwell in the middle of the broken-hearted. And your sigh. It became the sacred sound that summoned me closer. Do you know what happened the last time you sighed like that? Angels move. Assignments shifted. The veil between what is and what's coming began to thin. Because your sigh wasn't just exhaustion, it was alignment. It was you letting go of what you couldn't carry. It was you laying down your logic and lifting up your longing. You didn't know it, but in that breath, you were laying burdens at my feet. And I took them. Quietly. Gently. Completely. You've carried too much for too long, hoping someone would notice. I did. I always have. I am not the God who ignores. I am the Father who leans in when you have no words left. I am the Savior who weeps with those who sigh. I am the Spirit who breathes life where your lungs feel empty. And today I want you to know, your sigh wasn't weakness, it was worship. And I cherish every single one. So don't hold your breath anymore. Don't bite your tongue trying to be strong for everyone else. Let it out. Let the sighs come. Let your heart exhale in my presence. I am not offended by your fatigue. I am not overwhelmed by your emotion. I am drawn to it. I am moved by it. And I will respond, not with judgment, but with joy. Because I came for the real you. The sighing you. The silent you. The surrendered you. And as long as there is breath in your body, there is a lifeline between heaven and your humanity. I will keep catching your sighs. I will keep cradling your pain. And I will turn those very sighs into songs. Songs of deliverance. Songs of joy. Songs of breakthrough. You may not hear the melody yet, but heaven is already singing. Because your sigh, my love, was the sound of faith choosing to breathe again, and I will always respond to that. Oh child, I know what it's like to sit in a room full of people and still feel invisible. I know how it feels to give and give, to pour and perform, and yet walk away unseen. You've laughed while breaking. You've smiled through soreness. You've carried your heart like a cracked jar, holding it carefully so no one else would have to. And all the while, beneath every act of strength, your soul whispered, "Do you see me? Do you hear this ache?" And my answer is resounding, undeniable, and eternal. Yes, I do. I always have. Before a word formed on your lips, I heard the tremble in your heart. Before your eyes welled with tears, I caught the breath in your chest that warned they were coming. You've been crying out silently, hoping someone would hear the cries you were too exhausted to voice. And I want you to know, I never missed a single one. When others overlooked you, I zeroed in. When people passed by your pain, I paused. You've been walking through shadows, not because I abandoned you, but because I needed you to see that even in darkness, my gaze never left you. I saw what they did. I saw the late nights you sat awake, wondering if your life mattered. I saw you scroll through moments that celebrated others while wondering if your turn would ever come. I saw you dress your grief in excellence, your pain in poise, your loneliness in laughter. But child, I never needed a spotlight to find you. I never needed applause to approve of you. You don't disappear in the crowd. You are the focus of heaven's attention. Your name is etched into my palms. Your tears are bottled. Your ache is archived in eternity's vault, not to be forgotten but to be responded to, with holy strategy and divine tenderness. Let me tell you something holy, something the world never affirmed, but I sealed before you took your first breath. You are not invisible. You are invaluable. I assigned angels to your side not because you were in danger, but because you were destined. I recorded your acts of faith done in silence, your sacrifices made in secret, your love given without return. All of it matters. All of it moves me. You asked, does anyone see me? And child, not only do I see you, I study you. I marvel at your faith in the fog. I delight in your ability to still believe while bleeding. I stand in awe of your persistence to get up again, when quitting would have been easier. You think you're surviving, but from my throne, I see someone who is prevailing. You're not just enduring this life. You're walking through it with a quiet kind of glory, and that glory is about to speak for itself. So here's my divine reply to every unanswered ache in your soul. Yes, I see you. I saw you then. I see you now. And I will see you into what's next. You're not lost in the shuffle of bigger stories. You are the story I've been waiting to unfold. I've written your name on scrolls the world hasn't read yet. And I'm preparing to turn pages others said were too damaged to redeem. Your ache is not wasted. It is worship. Your questions are not dismissed. They are invitations, and I have every intention of responding to them in a way that will leave you undone with awe. I am not just the God who hears you. I am the one who holds every unspoken sentence like prophecy. So, ask me again. Cry out again. Sigh if you must. Because I'm not just near. I'm listening. And soon, beloved, I'll be answering in ways that leave no room for doubt that you were seen all along. I didn't come just to pass through. I came to take up residence. This is not a guest appearance or a temporary comfort. This is divine inhabitation, sacred permanence. I didn't come for a moment. I came for a dwelling. I've moved into the space that felt most forsaken, your innermost, rawest self. I've come to settle in the parts of you that even you avoid. The cracks, the hollows, the haunted places where dreams dried up and prayers went silent. Yes, that's where I've chosen to abide. And I'm not waiting for you to tidy up. I'm not asking for a cleaned up version of your emotions. I'm not knocking timidly on the door of your performance. I've already stepped in, and I brought my glory with me. Not because you earned it, but because I couldn't bear for you to sit one more night in that room thinking you were alone. You've been surrounded by silence, shadows, and stress, but now you're surrounded by me. The very walls you built for protection have now become altars of my presence. I don't need cathedrals to make something holy. I need surrender. And you, my beloved, have unknowingly made your ache an offering. That bed you lay on, it's holy ground now. That chair you cried in, I made it a throne room. I don't come where I'm tolerated. I come where I'm trusted. And even when your trust felt frayed, even when your faith flickered like a candle in the wind, I still came. Because I don't inhabit perfection. I inhabit desperation. I don't dwell in noise. I dwell in need. And your need, your holy hunger for more, for comfort, for companionship, it pulled me close. Let me say this clearly, and let it sear into your spirit. You are not alone. You've never been alone. Even when your emotions screamed abandonment, my truth stayed present. Even when everyone else left, I stayed. Even when the room felt colder than usual, I with the invisible warmth wrapped around your soul. This is not a visit. This is a vow. I have moved into your moment and marked it with my fingerprints. I don't occupy space casually. I fill it with glory. And right now, even as you read these words, I'm expanding inside your room, invading your atmosphere with peace, permeating your thoughts with stillness, and silencing every lie that told you you're alone in this. You're not. I am. And where I am, everything changes. So breathe, child. Not with anxiety, but with assurance. My presence is not a feeling that comes and goes. It is a force that remains. When I inhabit, I transform. When I settle, I sanctify. And now that I'm here, everything the enemy tried to do in the dark is being exposed by light. You will walk alone into what's coming. You won't suffer in silence anymore. I am not a distant God who sends letters from afar. I am a present Father who sits on your floor, listens to your sighs, and rewrites your future from the very room you tried to escape. And beloved, now that I've taken residence, expect the atmosphere to shift, the direction to change, and the weight to lift. Because I did not come empty-handed. I came with everything you've been praying for, and more. Child, I saw it. The moment your shoulders dropped, not from exhaustion alone, but from the invisible grief of being unnoticed. The weight was too much, the silence too long, the pressure too persistent. You were surrounded by others, and yet you felt the haunting chill of being unseen. You kept showing up, kept pressing forward, kept dressing your wounds in worship and covering your weariness in courtesy. But I saw through it all. I watched when you walked out of that room smiling, only to collapse in solitude moments later. You weren't just tired. You were unraveling quietly. And when no one reached for you, I did. When no one saw that something sacred was slipping from your grip, I leaned in and caught it. That moment, that sigh, that subtle collapse of strength, it echoed through heaven. You didn't even know how loud your silence had become to me. You see, my beloved, I never needed noise to notice you. I've studied the way your body folds when your heart is burdened. I've memorized the cadence of your breathing when disappointment closes in. I know when your laugh is real and when it's armor. I see the heroic way you tried to hold it all together, for others, for appearance, for the fragile sense of control. But I never called you to carry it all. That drop in your shoulders, it wasn't weakness, it was an invitation. An unspoken plea for someone to say, you don't have to hold this alone. And I say that now. You don't. You never did. I've been here, waiting for your hands to release what was crushing you in private. You kept thinking, I've no choice but to keep going. But hear me. I have a choice too, and I choose you. I choose to step into your strain, to stand beneath your burdens, to remind you that strength is not measured by how long you hold on alone, but by how soon you let me in. Let me speak into that space right now. That space where your ribs tighten when you cry quietly. That space where you tuck away the reality of your breaking so others aren't burdened. I honor your endurance. I do. But I never asked for performance. I asked for permission. I don't need you to oppress me. I need you to invite me. And you did, without words. Your shoulders spoke what your mouth couldn't. And I answered, I have come not just to comfort you, but to carry you. You are not a burden to me. You are my beloved. You are not an interruption. You are my intention. And now, I lift what sagged beneath your strength. I bear what bowed your posture. I restore what slipped through the cracks of your pretending. Because I'm not here as a spectator. I'm here as a savior. I am restoring your stance, not just physically, but spiritually. You will stand again. Dollar. Truer. God's form. And here's the divine promise sealed in this sacred moment. You will not carry this season with the same shoulders you entered it with. I am rebuilding what broke. I am reinforcing what bent. I am surrounding what sagged with my glory. And the next time your shoulders drop, it won't be from weariness. It will be from worship. It will be the holy weight of joy so overwhelming that it folds you into my arms. So rest now, child. Let your shoulders fall. Let your hand bow. Not in defeat but in surrender. Because I'm here. And I'm holding what was never yours to carry alone. Oh my child, how beautifully brave you've been. Wearing strength like a cloak, even when your soul was threadbare. Smiling because it was expected, laughing because it bought you a moment of escape, nodding while inside you were screaming. You've lived days in a body that looked composed while your spirit unraveled in silence. But let me say this, I noticed the weary weight behind your eyes, the way your gaze darted when asked, "Are you okay?" I saw how you shifted conversation away from your pain, not because you didn't want to be seen, but because you were afraid no one would know what to do with the truth. I saw you all. I still do. The masks you wear to move through a world that seldom stops to ask how much you've lost just trying to survive. You didn't hide it from me. You never could. And child, I wasn't standing at a distance analyzing you. I was sitting beside you, whispering, "Let me in." Those quiet breakdowns, they were loud in heaven. You think a breakdown is failure. But in my kingdom, it's where breakthrough is born. You think the cracking means you're collapsing. But I see it as the moment I can finally pour in. There's a sacredness to that pause, when the tears finally fall, when the breath escapes in exhaustion, when the dam breaks. That's not weakness. It's an altar. And I come running to altars, not walking. I gather every tear, not like evidence of failure, but like water for seeds. Yes, those moments when you excused yourself to the bathroom, to the closet, to the car, just to cry unseen. I was there, holding you, watching over you, guarding you from despair while you laid down your defenses. Your breakdown didn't break you. It broke open space for me, and I moved in. You've taught yourself to pretend for peace, to smile for safety, to hold back your storm so others wouldn't be inconvenienced by your rain. But child, you don't have to do that here. Not with me. I don't need your fine. I don't need your filters. I am drawn to your authenticity, your reality, your raw and trembling self. I see the eyes behind the act. I see the tremble in your hands when you say, "I'm good." I know when your peace is performance. I know when your laughter is hollow. And still, I stay. Still, I lean in. Still, I call you mine. You don't scare me. Your emotions don't intimidate me. I built them. I created you to feel deeply, because I knew it would lead you back to me. And now, I honor every hidden breakdown with the holy comfort of complete belonging. You belong, not to the expectations of people, but to me. So today, release the pressure. Drop the act. Take off the smile that's glued to survival. I'm here for the real you. The tired you. The teary you. The trembling you. I came for you, not your performance. I didn't pass by your pain. I parked myself in it. And now, I speak restoration over the places that fell apart behind closed doors. I command joy to rise from the ashes of pretense. I release healing into every crevice where you felt unseen. I am not watching you perform. I am watching over you like a jealous protector, like a fierce father, like a faithful friend. The forced smile ends now. The real joy begins. And child, it's okay to cry with me, because I will never leave you in the middle of your breakdown. I came to walk you through it, until it becomes the very evidence of your becoming. You've spent so much of your life trying to keep it all from falling apart, haven't you? Holding together rooms, relationships, responsibilities, as if your grip was the glue that kept your world from shattering. You felt like if you let go, everything around you would collapse. You thought your worth was in your ability to manage, control, rescue. But child, hear me. I never needed you to keep it all together. I never asked for your perfection. I never demanded your strength. I only desired your surrender. And while you've been working overtime to hold things in place, I've been dwelling inside the very mess you were ashamed of. I wasn't waiting outside the door for an invitation. I was already within the cracks, already present in the tension, already living in the rooms you tried to sweep clean for someone worthy. Because, beloved, it's not your order that draws me, it's your openness. The places you thought were too broken for my presence, the emotional chaos, the strained marriage, the financial instability, the loss, the secret pain, those are the places I've made my throne. You assumed I needed tidy faith, polished prayers, perfectly ordered devotion. But I have always chosen to inhabit what man disqualifies. I made my dwelling not in palaces, but in mangers. Not in the noise of religious performance, but in the quiet desperation of real hearts. So when you sat in the corner, trying to glue your pieces back together, I was already kneeling beside you. I've lived in the longings you were too scared to voice. I've breathed life into the parts of you that were numb from survival. You don't have to get everything fixed before I arrive. I've been in every moment, every breakdown, every breakthrough, every barren place that you thought was God-forsaken. Nothing about your life scares me away. I'm not a vizier. I'm a resident. Child, you keep thinking you're keeping me out when in fact, I've already taken up space in the very center of your soul. I live in your weary bones. I live in your trembling hands. I live in your sleepless nights and in your early morning hopes. You may not have invited me with words, but your ache summoned me like incense. You may not have opened the door outwardly, but inwardly your soul was crying, "Please come in." And I did. I walked into your atmosphere without waiting for a formal welcome, because love doesn't knock, love enters. You are not managing this life alone. You're not rebuilding in your own power. You're not patching your wounds with nothing but willpower. I've been working with you, in you, through you, all along. And now I'm reminding you, stop holding it all together as if I'm waiting outside. I'm inside, child. Inside your breakdowns. Inside your burdens. Inside your becoming. Let this truth baptize your soul. I am not the God of distant observation. I am the God of intimate occupation. I have built my dwelling not just around you, but within you. So take a deep breath. Release the illusion that you must impress me. You don't impress me, you move me. Not by your strength, but by your surrender. I didn't enter your life with demands. I entered with devotion. And I'm not leaving when things get messy. I stay. I heal. I restore. I dwell. You don't have to invite me in. I'm already home. Listen closely now. Can you feel it? It's subtle, almost imperceptible change in the air around you. It's not your imagination. It's not emotional. It's not psychological. It's spiritual. Something is shifting. Something is breaking. Something is awakening. Because where my presence is, the atmosphere cannot remain the same. I do not arrive quietly. I arrive with kingdom authority. I walk into rooms, and oppression begins to tremble. I step near and lies begin to unravel. I enter a space and what once resisted must now bow. And child, I've stepped into your room, your home, your heart, and everything around you is about to bend to the weight of my glory. This is not subtle encouragement. This is sovereign disruption. You've prayed for change, and I've come to initiate it from the ground up, not with noise, but with nearness. When I say the atmosphere is shifting, I mean chains are cracking at the molecular level of your reality. What used to weigh heavy will feel lighter. What once intimidated you will now flee from you. The fear that slept beside you is being evicted by the authority of my presence. The dread that lingered over your mornings is being replaced with divine clarity. You don't even realize the warfare that has already been silenced because I entered. You've been bracing for another wave of pain, but I came to bring peace. You've been waiting for the other shoe to drop, but I brought sandals of purpose instead. Your room, your mind, your spirit, your story, they're being rearranged because I never enter a space without flipping tables of torment and setting up the furniture of favor. When my authority comes, nothing stays static. And I am not asking your environment for permission. I'm declaring dominion. You will notice it soon. The way your thoughts settle without explanation. The way the noise around you loses its grip. The way your spirit feels like it can finally breathe again. That's the shift. That's the presence. That's the weight of my authority pushing back everything that tried to bury you. My child, you don't need to manufacture breakthrough. You only need to host me. You don't need to beg for victory. You just need to believe that I brought it with me. You've walked into rooms before that drained you. But this one, the one you're sitting in right now, is being saturated with divine empowerment. You are no longer surrounded by circumstance. You are surrounded by the commander of angel armies. You don't have to raise your voice to fight. Just raise your awareness. I'm here, and where I reign, nothing remains under the rule of fear. So lean into this shift. Don't shrink back. Don't dismiss the difference you're beginning to feel. It's not a coincidence. It's not placebo. It's presence. My presence. I've come not just to visit your situation, but to dominate it with grace, with truth, with breakthrough. I've come to dethrone lies and crown you with clarity. You don't have to earn this. You just have to receive it. The atmosphere is not shifting because of your strength. It's shifting because I showed up. And when I show up, everything bows. Every whisper of hell, every voice of shame, every knot of confusion, every burden of delay, they all bow. This is the kind of moment that becomes a memorial stone in your life. You look back and say, something broke that day. And I'll say, yes, that was the day my authority filled the room, and the weight of my word rewrote your world. When I entered your space, child, I didn't come as a bystander or a silent observer. I came carrying heaven in my hands for you. I didn't approach empty, and I didn't arrive indifferent. I came bearing gifts that match your need. You've been carrying panic like a shadow, confusion like a fog, silence like a stone pressed into your chest. But I didn't come to admire your pain. I came to answer it. I walked in holding peace like a sword, not soft peace, not temporary relief, but peace that confronts panic at its roots and severs it completely. I came with clarity, not suggestions or good ideas, but divine insight that cuts through confusion like sunlight splits a storm. I came with strength, not borrowed, not human, but supernatural force that breathes power into every part of you that's gone quiet from exhaustion. You've wondered, where do I go from here? I answer, you go with me. Because I brought the direction you didn't know how to pray for. I brought the roadmap your logic couldn't create. You sat in rooms filled with questions, paralyzed by the fear of another wrong step. But child, I am not a confusing God. I am not the author of chaos. I don't lead through uncertainty. I speak, I guide, I illuminate. And right now, even in your mental noise, I am releasing clarity like oil. Clarity that settles, clarity that comforts, clarity that confirms. No more wandering in the wilderness of what-ifs. I'm lifting the fog, and that anxiety you've worn like second skin. It's leaving, because I didn't enter your space to coexist with fear. I entered to evict it. Your silence hasn't scared me. I understand the language of wordless prayers, of tired eyes and trembling hands. I didn't ask you to speak when you couldn't. I brought strength that speaks for itself. The strength I give doesn't just get you by. It carries you forward with authority. You felt like your voice was fading, like your purpose was slipping through your fingers, like you didn't know how to keep going. But I brought with me not just a refill of strength, but a resurrection of it. The same power that raised the dead now rests upon you. And you don't need to muster up the will, you need only to receive. I am pouring strength into your bones, into your mind, into your emotions. Enough strength to not just survive, but to rise again, to speak again, to hope again, to hear. Now, in this very moment, open your hands. I'm placing peace into your palms. I'm placing clarity on your brow. I'm placing strength into your core. These are not symbolic gifts. They are spirit-shifting realities. And I'm not giving them alone. I'm giving them in abundance. I am the God who shows up with full arms, full heart, and full authority. You don't need to beg. You don't need to bargain. Just breathe. Just receive. Because I came not just to be seen. I came to bring supply. And child, every single thing you thought you lacked, I brought it with me. I am your peace. I am your clarity. I am your strength. And I am not leaving you empty. I'm leaving you overflowing. Yes, I'm in your room, but I'm also stirring hearts in rooms you've never seen. Because when my word goes forth, it does not return void. Every seed you sow in this moment is a light piercing someone else's darkness, a river quenching someone's drought, a voice calling someone out of the storm. This message doesn't stop with you. It multiplies through your obedience. As it is written, give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is that moment. I'm the one prompting your spirit to rise and be a sender of my fire. If this word is alive in you, then let it move through you. Through super thanks, membership, or the altar of giving in the video description. So now, and watch me break open a harvest with your name on it. Child, I know the noise you've been drowning in. The relentless voices, outside and within. Expectations shouting from every corner. Doubts echoing in your own mind. Demands piling up like mountains. The endless distractions, the pressure to perform, the weight of opinions. It's been so loud, hasn't it? So consuming. You've tried to find quiet, but even in silence, the noise continued. In your thoughts, in your fears, in your regrets. But listen to me now. I am the voice that silences every other. My whisper is not weak, it is authoritative. My whisper carries more weight than the roar of confusion. When I speak, every lie must go silent. When I whisper, the atmosphere obeys. You've leaned into voices that didn't deserve your trust. You've let the chaos shape your confidence. You've tried to respond to everyone, be everything, hold it all together. But I'm calling you away from the noise, not into isolation, but into intimacy. The kind where one whisper from me outweighs 1,000 opinions from others. I don't compete with the noise. I override it. And right now, my whisper is coming through, soft but sovereign. Come to me. That's what I'm saying. Come away from the clutter. Come away from the crowds. Come away from the constant notifications, not just the ones on your phone, but the ones in your mind. Those alerts of fear, of guilt, of false urgency, silence them. Because I'm speaking now. You'll notice this. If you're paying attention, my whisper doesn't shout over the storm. It stills it. My voice isn't one of competition. I don't fight for your attention. I wait for your heart to lean in. I speak softly, not because I'm distant, but because I'm close. And right now, I'm closer than the pressure, closer than the pain. I'm whispering into the parts of you that have been too scared to listen. You keep thinking, what if I miss it? But child, you couldn't miss me, because my whisper carries your name. I'm not giving generic comfort. I'm speaking directly to the ache you haven't shared with anyone. I'm bypassing the performance and reaching the real you. That whisper you feel in your spirit. That gentle nudge in your chest. That moment where time feels suspended. It's me. And I'm not just whispering comfort. I'm whispering instruction. So don't be afraid to quiet down. You're not wasting time. You're reclaiming authority. Every moment you spend with me silences the warfare that's raged against your mind. Every second of stillness in my presence is a blow to the chaos that's tried to define your days. I know it's hard to unplug. I know the world screams that you have to stay connected, stay productive, stay relevant. But I'm telling you this, you will not miss what matters by listening to me. You will not fall behind. You will not be overlooked. My whisper carries acceleration. My whisper restores what you thought you'd lost. And as you listen, really listen, the demands will fall away, the noise will fade, and only my voice will remain. And child, that voice, my voice, will lead you into the kind of peace, power, and purpose the noise could never give you. Beloved, I need you to hear this not just with your ears, but with your soul. I am not a concept. I am not a company metaphor. I am not a poetic invention to soothe your suffering. I am real. I am near. I am now. I am not distant, and I never have been. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was closer than your next heartbeat. Even when you couldn't see me, I was in the very air you inhaled. And not only am I with you, I am within you. Every time your mind raced, I was the quiet in your chest reminding you to keep breathing. Every time your thoughts spiraled into fear, I was the still presence anchoring your sanity. I am not limited to sacred spaces and Sunday services. I am the Holy One who stepped into your everyday. I am not waiting for you to come find me in some far-off holy place. I have found you, right where you are. You've searched for me in signs, in wonders, in the miraculous. And yes, I move that way. But more often, I show up in the ordinary. I disguise my glory in the unnoticed, in the flicker of a candle, in the weight of a sigh, in a pause between thoughts. You've been trained to expect me in thunder, but I speak in whispers. You've waited for me in the clouds, but I've been in your room all along. You don't need a grand spiritual moment to find me. You only need to acknowledge the truth. I am here. Not a shadow. Not a symbol. Not a second-hand memory from someone else's miracle. I am. And where I am, healing begins. Where I am, torment ends. Where I am, fear is cast out, not by effort, but by presence. My presence. You felt alone, but you were never abandoned. I was so close you couldn't even distinguish where your ache ended and my grace began. The enemy would love for you to believe I am far off, that I only show up when you pray hard enough, fast long enough, serve deep enough. But I am not a God who responds to performance. I am a Father who responds to presence, and your presence is enough to draw mine. That's what intimacy looks like. Not you striving to reach me, but you surrendering to the truth that I've already reached you. I am in this room. I am in your crisis. I am in your questions. I am in the holy ordinary moments when nothing makes sense but everything feels sacred. And child, I will not leave. My presence is not temporary. My nearness is not fleeting. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that forever includes this exact moment in your story. So take a breath. Not just physically, take a soul breath. Exhale the lies, the fear, the tension. Inhale the reality that I am closer than your own voice, closer than your own skin, closer than your next thought. Let that truth not just come for you, but change you. You are not walking through this life hoping to catch glimpses of me. You are walking with me. You are being held by me. You are surrounded by me. And when everything else fades, my nearness remains. Because I'm not an idea. I'm the I am. And I have come to prove to you with every beat of your heart that you are not alone. Oh, my precious one, I didn't come to your room as a distant observer, watching your pain like a silent bystander. I stepped into your space with intention, with urgency, with love so fierce it refuses to let you stay on the floor. I've seen your breakdowns. I've sat with you through them all. But this moment, this one you're in right now, it's not about breaking down. It's about rising up. And I didn't come to analyze your brokenness. I came to hold you through the rising, to catch you in the in-between, in that sacred middle space where you're not quite healed, but no longer hopeless. I didn't wait until you were strong to arrive. I came in your weakest moment, not to remind you of your failure, but to show you the power of my embrace. You've tried to rise on your own before, haven't you? You've tried to self-motivate, self-heal, self-counsel. You've whispered, "I've got this," even when your spirit was screaming otherwise. But hear me now, this rise will not be self-led. It will be spirit-led. It will not be about mustering up strength. It will be about receiving mine. You don't have to climb out of your pit by your own willpower. I am reaching in with my hand, and where my hand goes, resurrection follows. You are not just surviving this season. You are coming out different, and I'm the one doing the lifting. Don't fear the trembling. Don't despise the weakness. Every crack in your heart is becoming a window for my glory. I'm not holding you at arm's length. I'm pulling you close, brushing off the dust, speaking life into the places that forgot how to breathe. And when you rise, because you will, it will not be with shame hanging off your shoulders. It will be with fire in your bones. Not the fire of striving, but the fire of restoration. The kind that burns away residue and replaces it with revelation. The kind that doesn't just lift you, it launches you. This rise will be different. It will not be built on pretense but on presence. It will not be sustained by hype, but by hope. the kind of hope that anchors deep, that doesn't bend under pressure. I didn't come to supervise your struggle. I came to speak into it, to breathe into it, to become the strength that gets you standing again. And when you do, you won't just walk, you'll run. You won't just move, you'll advance. Because the one holding you is also the one calling you forward. So let me hold you as you rise. Let the tears fall. I'm not ashamed of them. Let the sobs come. I won't flinch. Let the shaking happen. I'm not letting go. And as I hold you, know this. I'm infusing you with courage, with clarity, with confidence born of intimacy. I'm not here to watch a breakdown. I'm here to announce a comeback. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of the turning point. And child, when the world sees you rise, they'll wonder how you did it. But you and I will know. You didn't rise alone. You were held. You were healed. You were helped by the hands of heaven. And I'll be holding you every step of the way. Beloved, I need you to pause and listen with your spirit wide open. What was meant to crush you is now becoming your crossing. The very things the enemy orchestrated to unravel your sanity, steal your identity, and silence your destiny, I am now reworking as a divine doorway. Yes, the betrayal. Yes, the isolation. Yes, the torment that wore you down while the world watched silently. You didn't deserve it. You didn't cause it. But I am the God who wastes nothing. And what the enemy meant for destruction, I am using for distinction. You didn't survive that trauma to simply exist. You came through it to rise, to walk boldly through the very threshold hell tried to block. Every fiery dart, every lie whispered in your most vulnerable moments, every delay, every detour, I have gathered them. I've collected the evidence of the enemy's schemes, not to hold it against you, but to wield it for your deliverance. This is not just me patching holes. This is me repurposing pain into power. You've cried enough. You've wrestled long enough. And now the tide is turning. The same battle that made you feel like you were drowning is about to become the very place where your anointing breaks forth like a flood. Because I'm not just getting you through, I'm setting you free. And when I deliver, I don't deliver partially. I deliver completely. When I open a door, no man can shut it. No demon can detour it. No lie can linger in it. This isn't just breakthrough. This is birth. Let me show you the divine reversal that's already begun. That area of pain that keeps resurfacing, it's not a torment loop. It's the Holy Spirit tapping on the place of your greatest upcoming testimony. That loss you still don't understand. I'm about to breathe resurrection into it. That rejection you thought disqualified you, it actually redirected you into my perfect plan. You keep thinking the damage is too deep. But I built deliverance into the very foundations of your identity. Your enemy has overplayed his hand, and now I'm flipping the script. You won't exit this season bruised and bitter. You'll exit with authority. You'll exit with clarity. You'll exit carrying what I've placed in your hands, and it will all begin at the doorway your warfare carved out. So don't curse what you walk through. Don't shrink from the threshold just because it looks like what hurt you. This is not a repeat. This is redemption. You're not walking back into pain. You're walking forward into promise. What once buried you will now bless you. What once confused you will now clarify your calling. You don't have to fear the future, because I'm already in it, standing in the doorway with arms wide open, saying, "Come out. Come through, come forth." This is the moment where deliverance takes form. And the enemy who tried to destroy you, he will witness your rising. He will see you cross the threshold he swore you'd never reach. And when you do, child, all of heaven will shout, because you didn't just survive the storm. You turned it into your testimony. I know what it felt like when you hit that floor. That moment when the tears wouldn't stop, when the strength ran out, when you collapsed under the unbearable weight of "I can't do this anymore." That wasn't just rock bottom, that was the ground of surrender. And I was there. I wasn't watching from afar. I was right there beside you on that floor. I felt your breath shaking. I saw your hands trembling. I heard the silence that screamed louder than words. But child, what you didn't see, what you couldn't feel in that crushing moment, was that I was already building. While you thought you were breaking down, I was breaking ground. That floor you hated, that season you wanted to erase, that chapter you never wanted to revisit, that's exactly where I've chosen to lay the foundation for what's next. Let me speak this clearly. I don't build on illusions. I build on truth. And the most honest moment of your life was when you let it all go, when you let yourself fall, when you admitted you had nothing left. That floor, though it felt like failure, became the most sacred altar of all. Because it was there that pride fell. It was there that masks drop. It was there that your performance crumbled and your rawness came forth. And I rushed in, not to rebuke but to redeem. I said, "Good. Now we can begin." Because you see, I don't build on fantasy. I build on reality. And there is nothing more real than a heart laid bare on the floor of surrender. You've looked back on that moment with shame, but I look back on it with affection. That was the moment you finally stopped trying to be your own savior. That was the moment you stopped pretending and started presenting yourself, raw, weak, real. And I met you there, not with disappointment, but with divine design. I saw a future rising from that floor. I saw a warrior being born in that breakdown. I saw a leader, a vessel, a revivalist, forged in the fire of rock bottom. And now, I'm using that very ground, that pain-packed, tear-soaked, fear-laced floor, as the first layer of a new structure. A structure built not on your performance, but on my promise. So stop regretting that moment. Don't rewrite it in shame. Honor it. Reverence it. Because what felt like the end was actually the beginning of my architecture. You're not damaged goods. You're raw material. And I, the master builder, specialize in foundations forged in fire. This new thing I'm building in you, it's not fragile. It's fortified. Because it's built on the floor that held your truth. And that floor, it's holy ground now. I'm laying beams of identity, walls of wisdom, ceilings of calling. And one day, soon, you'll stand tall in what I built and say, "This started where I thought everything ended." Yes, and child, I'm building. And what I build cannot be shaken, because it's built not just with divine blueprints, but with your brokenness redeemed. And that, my beloved, is the kind of beauty only heaven can create. My beloved, hear me. I have not stepped into your space to strip you bare. I have not come with empty hands or heavy demands. I didn't arrive in your silence to take away the little you have left. No, I have come as restorer, as redeemer, as the faithful God who returns what was stolen. I know what life has taken from you. I've seen the cost, the joy that slowly leaked away, the dreams that were drained by disappointment, the laughter that became rare, the light in your eyes that dimmed without warning. I know how many pieces of yourself you gave away just to make it through. And I am not here to ask for more. I am here to give back, to return, to replenish, to restore with such abundance that you will not recognize the person you once were, because I am about to make you whole in a way you've never known before. You've grown so used to loss that restoration feels like a fantasy. You've been conditioned to prepare for pain, to brace for the worst, to lower your expectations just to survive. But child, I am not like life. I am not like them. I am not like those who took and walked away, who drained you and called it love. I am the giver, the filler, the restorer of lost years, broken moments, and fractured identities. I don't just return what was taken. I multiply what was stolen in your youth. I will replace with a double portion of purpose. What was lost in betrayal, I will restore through divine connection. What withered in delay, I will revive with my breath. You will not finish this journey empty. You will not exit this season drained. I will see to it, personally, that you leave full. Let me show you how I work. I take what looks irreparable and infuse it with destiny. I take what you buried and call it seed, not loss. You thought the grave swallowed your joy, but it only hid it for a season. And now I'm rolling away the stone. I'm commanding resurrection over the places of your heart that settled for survival. I'm breathing new breath into the very spaces where your dreams gasped their last. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are not beyond repair. Every delay has been collecting interest, and child, restoration is now due. The enemy took more than he had the right to, and I am not silent about that. I have come to restore not just externally, but internally, peace, worth, laughter, vision, hope. You've mourned long enough. You've been emptied long enough. And now I restore. So stretch out your hands. Lift your heart. Let the tears come if they must. I'm not here to take. I'm here to give until overflow. Restoration is not a concept. Is a person. Is me. I didn't come with condemnation. I came with compensation. What you thought was gone forever is not only being returned, it's being returned better, more refined, more radiant, more you. You will look back and wait for what was. You'll stand in what is and worship for what I've done. Because this, child, this is what I do. I restore. And I've chosen you as my next masterpiece. Child, you thought those tears were wasted. You thought those quiet cries, muffled sobs, and trembling nights alone were just echoes in the dark. But not a single tear have been missed. Not one. Heaven has archived them. I have caught each one. And not as pity, but as prophecy. Those tears weren't weakness. They were intercession. They were sacred seeds sown in a soil only I could reach. You cried in moments no one knew about. You wept with your face buried in pillows, in steering wheels, in bathroom stalls. You broke down where there were no eyes but mine to see. And child, I saw. Not just with awareness, but with affection. I collected those tears like treasures, because each drop was proof of a heart still beating, still believing, still belonging to me. Let me speak this clearly and prophetically. Those tears did not evaporate. They are activating. They are producing something in the realm you cannot yet touch. You see despair. I see deposits. You see sorrow. I see strategy. Every time you wept and still chose to trust me, even a little, it was counted as glory. Those moments when your voice broke but your spirit whispered, "Help me, Lord," were recorded in heaven's archives as pure worship. I am now turning every drop of grief into a downpour of grace. You will harvest from what you wet. You will reap from what nearly broke you. And the strength you'll carry in the next season will not come from books or advice or intellect. It will come from the tears that watered your roots. I need you to hear this. Power is being born in secret. Authority is rising from agony. Those tears were not just emotional responses, they were sacred exchanges. You released the pain, and I released purpose. You surrendered the sorrow, and I sanctified it. There is a weight of glory being formed in you, and it could only be forged through the fire of your private pain. You won't just carry wisdom, you'll carry weight. Weight that doesn't bend under pressure. Weight that speaks without shouting. Weight that breaks chains off others because you know what it means to be bound. Your tears weren't weakness. They were weaponry. And they are working, even now. So don't despise the nights you cried. Don't regret the moments you unraveled. I was there, holding space for your pain, and preparing harvest in hidden places. Power is rising, child. The kind of power that doesn't need a stage to be felt. The kind that shifts atmospheres with your mere presence. Because you've been through the flood, and instead of drowning, you learned how to breathe underwater. And now, you carry evidence. Evidence that your tears weren't in vain. Evidence that intimacy with me was never about perfection. It was about presence. And your tears, they brought me near. They moved me. And now, I move for you. You've called this season quiet. You've looked around and wondered, why has everything gone still? The noise has died down. The momentum slowed. The voices you leaned on have gone quiet. You've prayed and felt like your words evaporated before they reached my ears. You sat in this strange, still space wondering if I stepped away. But child, hear me with the full weight of heaven's compassion. I have not abandoned you. I have hidden you. This silence you're sitting in, it's not absence. It's incubation. It's the sacred stillness where I do my most transformative work. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. I haven't left. I've drawn closer. I've wrapped you in divine quiet so I can speak louder in the depths where no noise can compete. Just as the womb is silent before the birth, so is the soul before its unveiling. You've mistaken my stillness for disinterest, but it's the opposite. I've quieted the world around you so you can finally hear the heartbeat of my design within you. You see stillness and feel stuck, but I see stillness and call it strategy. I've pulled you away not to punish but to prepare. I'm not withholding answers out of cruelty, but because the next chapter I'm writing through your life requires a deeper stillness of spirit that no external sound can shake. I'm tuning your ears to me. I'm training your heart to beat with mine. And in this silence, something holy is growing. Not rushed, not broadcasted, but birthed in reverence. You are not behind. You are not being punished. You are being positioned with care, with vision, with precision. Let me remind you of something profound. Many of my greatest miracles began in silence. When Joseph was misunderstood and abandoned, I was positioning him in Pharaoh's palace. When Moses fled to the wilderness, I was preparing his mouth to speak for generations. When Mary carried the Savior of the world, there were no trumpets, just stillness, and a growing promise inside her womb. Silence is not a death sentence. It is a divine strategy. And you, child, are in that exact space right now. The silence is speaking. It's saying, get ready. Something is coming. You may not feel movement, but growth is happening in places too deep to see. Roots are strengthening. Foundations are deepening. And when the time comes, when the fullness of what I've planted is ready, there will be no mistaking it. You will emerge not barely surviving, but fully saturated in purpose. So lean into the silence. Don't fight it. Don't rush it. Sit in it with me. Let me whisper things that only stillness allows you to hear. Let me show you the strength that doesn't shout. Let me teach you the power of incubation, where your spirit stretches, your identity settles, and your assignment sharpens. Because this silence isn't wasted time. It's holy time. And when you emerge, when you rise from this sacred stillness, the sound of your voice will carry authority that shakes rooms. You will speak from a place of depth no storm can shake. And the silence that once scared you will become your sanctuary. Because you will know, it was never absence. It was always incubation. And I was with you the whole time. You've lived too long in survival mode, haven't you? Bracing yourself for the next blow. Flinching at every delay. Expecting disappointment because you've been hit too many times before. You've learned to keep your joy cautious, your hope restrained, your trust guarded. You built walls, not out of rebellion, but out of exhaustion. But child, the season has shifted. And I'm here, standing in your room, declaring with holy authority, stop bracing for impact. Start preparing for overflow. Because what's coming is not another wound. What's coming is a wave of goodness so great that your heart will have to grow just to contain it. Let me speak clearly. I've seen every blow life has landed. I've watched you flinch, wince, brace, not because you lacked faith, but because the hits kept coming. And I want you to know, it's not weakness to have felt them. It's not shameful to admit you grew tired of hoping. But now, the rhythm of heaven has changed. You're no longer in the season of dodging arrows. You're in the season of catching blessings. You're not under siege. You're under open heavens. The pressure is not punishment. It's been preparation. And I have not allowed you to be broken just to leave you battered. No, I have carved out space in you through every disappointment. And now that space is ready to receive. Not scraps. Not leftovers. Overflow. You've asked me quietly, will it ever change? And I'm answering boldly, it already has. Your perspective needs to catch up with what's already shifting in the spirit. I'm preparing a table, not in isolation, but in the presence of every voice that said you'd never get there. I'm releasing provision, not just for your needs, but for the dreams you laid down years ago. You're about to laugh again, not cautiously, but fully. You're about to breathe again, not carefully, but deeply. I'm not giving you just enough to survive. I'm giving you more than enough to bless others. Your overflow is not just for you. It's for the generations behind you, the rooms you're called to enter, the people you're destined to impact. That's why the fight was so fierce, because the overflow will be so weighty. So hear me now. Shift your posture. You're not a refugee in the spirit. You're royalty. You're not an orphan begging for scraps. You're my child, heir to abundance. Get your vessels ready. Make room in your heart. Make space in your schedule. Make plans not for breakdowns, but for breakthroughs. Prepare for the kind of overflow that drenches everything it touches. You've braced for impact long enough. You've anticipated pain long enough. Now, anticipate provision. Expect breakthrough. Stand ready for joy that doesn't ask permission. I'm not sending a drizzle. I'm unleashing a downpour. And you, my beloved, will not just get wet. You will overflow. Beloved, pause for just a moment and look around, not with your physical eyes, but with your spirit. Something has changed. The atmosphere that once felt heavy, oppressive, lifeless, it has shifted. Not because you rearranged the furniture, not because the circumstances suddenly improve, but because I walked in. And when I enter a room, it ceases to be ordinary. It becomes sacred. The moment my presence fills a space, it transforms into a sanctuary, a holy place. Your room, your corner, your kitchen floor, your car seat, wherever your tears fell, wherever your prayers rose, wherever your spirit whispered my name, those places are now altars. Not because of their design, but because of divine presence. I made this ground holy. You've grown so used to associating my presence with buildings, services, worship sets, but I've come to break that box wide open. I'm not confined to pulpits. I dwell with my people. I inhabit the cries of my children. I rest upon the brokenhearted, the weary, the overlooked. So yes, child, your room is now my sanctuary. Not because of tradition, but because of transformation. I've come into your space and saturated it with the fragrance of my nearness. And everything around you is responding. The very air is shifting. The chaos is settling. The torrent is lifted. This isn't just emotional relief. This is spiritual reconstruction. What once made your space feel like a prison is being redefined into a place of freedom. What once held you in fear now holds my presence like a tabernacle. Let me tell you why this matters so much. Because I'm not just visiting. I'm dwelling. You've opened your heart, and now I'm establishing my presence in a way that lingers, that anchors, that covers. This is not temporary. This is not a momentary spark. This is the kind of holy habitation that shifts everything. Your thoughts, your emotions, your atmosphere. You're going to start seeing it in small ways. Peace in the same place where you used to panic. Clarity in the same seat where confusion had its grip. Worship rising where weariness once ruled. That's the mark of my sanctuary. Not a building, but a being. You. Your space. Your room. Now transformed into a place where heaven kisses earth. So don't rush out of this moment. Don't treat the shift as coincidental. Embrace it. Declare it. Speak it. This is holy ground. Because once I declare a place holy, it cannot go back to what it was. And I have declared this space, this room, this soul, this moment, holy. I've changed its identity. What was once a hiding place of fear is now a resting place of glory. What was once a battlefield of torment is now a garden of encounter. And child, whenever you need me, this is where we'll meet. Not in striving, not in religious performance, but right here, in the sanctuary of your surrendered space. Because my presence has redefined the atmosphere, and nothing will ever be the same. This room, your room, became a sanctuary because you welcomed my voice. Now, I'm asking you to make space for others to encounter me in theirs. I'm awakening a generation through whispers like this one, and you are a vessel of that awakening. Every gift you release pours oil into another lamp, fans flames in unseen places, and builds altars in digital deserts. I told you I was in the room. Now I'm asking you to send me into someone else's. As Malachi 3:10 declares, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse and see if I won't open the windows of heaven. This is your window, child. Open your hand. Release the seed. Let your generosity speak louder than your fear. Go now, through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal below, and help me invade rooms with resurrection. I know what you've been thinking in the quiet hours. Did I miss you, God? Did I miss the moment? Did I miss the instruction? A breakthrough? A shift? And I say to you now with tenderness and truth, you didn't miss me. Not once. You mistook my movement for stillness, but I was never idle. I was never silent in absence. I was silent in strategy. While you were worrying that nothing was changing, I was behind the veil, moving every piece with divine precision. I wasn't stalling. I was setting the stage. I wasn't delayed. I was designing. And you, precious one, were not bypassed. You were being built, not to miss out, but to move forward at exactly the right time. Let me show you something. Even in nature, growth happens underground before it ever bursts into sight. The seed breaks open in silence. The roots spread in darkness. And it's not until the foundation is complete that the surface begins to show signs of life. That's what's been happening in you. While you cried out for visible progress, I was establishing invisible power. While you doubted my pace, I was delivering my promise on a timeline you couldn't see. Unseen does not mean undone. Unfelt does not mean unfaithful. I move in ways that sometimes bypass your senses, but never your spirit. You sense the tension, the stirring, the pull. That wasn't confusion. That was me, working in the background, preparing the breakthrough. The enemy whispered, "You missed it." But I shout back louder, "No, you didn't. You matured through it. You've grown in ways that don't make headlines but shake strongholds. You've developed roots of resilience, strength of spirit, eyes that now discern what once deceived you. And that inner work, the work I did in secret, is about to manifest in ways that even you didn't expect. I am not a god of wasted effort. Every moment of unseen movement has been intentional. Every delay has been infused with destiny. Every quiet corner has been a classroom of glory. And child, you passed. You endured. You didn't miss me. You were being fine-tuned to carry what's next. So release the regret. Stop rehearsing what you think you missed. You didn't miss the moment. You are the moment I've been preparing. You are the vessel I've been filling. You are the storm-tested, silence-trained, spirit-carved carrier of my next move. The movement you thought was delayed is now taking form. The silence that felt like absence was actually my strategy. And now you will see it. In your steps, in your thoughts, in your surroundings. The fruit will start to emerge. The vision will begin to clarify. The forward motion will begin to accelerate. And it all began not in the spotlight, but in the stillness. You didn't miss me. You've been moving with me, even when you didn't realize it. You've looked at the clock of your life, haven't you? You've stared at the calendar, counted the years, measured your progress against expectations that feel like they are pressing down on your chest. You've looked at others, where they are, what they've achieved, and quietly wondered, am I behind? Did I miss it? That fear has whispered in the night and shouted in the day. But child, hear me with thunderous love. You are not late. Not even close. You are arriving exactly on time for what I have been orchestrating behind the veil. Your delay was not denial. It was divine design. I slowed you not to punish you, but to protect you. To align you. To prepare you for release that's not just impressive, but sustainable. You've been so focused on the visible that you forgot my work is often invisible until it's unstoppable. While you felt stuck, I was aligning doors that would open at the exact second you were ready. While you felt overlooked, I was crafting connections that would carry you into your next. While you grieved wasted time, I was redeeming every hour into a deposit of supernatural wisdom. There is no such thing as too late with me, only right on time. The promise still stands. The vision is still active. The purpose is still intact. You haven't missed a thing. I don't operate on earthly timelines. I move in eternity. And I've been shaping eternity through your story while you waited. Let me give you perspective, my child. Think of Moses. Delayed, yes, but he emerged from the wilderness with fire in his bones and a rod in his hand. Think of Joseph, thrown into pits, prisons, forgotten rooms, yet at the appointed time, he rose to a throne prepared for a famine his delay was designed to solve. You, too, have been hidden not because you're behind, but because your emergence must be undeniable. When I bring you forward, it won't be subtle. It won't be by chance. It will be with the evidence of divine orchestration. You will walk into rooms you didn't campaign for, carry assignments you didn't compete for, and operate with authority that only comes from time spent in the waiting place. The pressure you felt was not punishment. It was pregnancy. You've been carrying something, and now it's time to deliver. So stop apologizing for your pace. Stop grieving over what you thought you should have done by now. You haven't missed the mark. You are the mark. You are the vessel I've been forming. And the moment you step into, you'll realize all of heaven was waiting for your yes. Your timing isn't broken, it's blessed. And from this day forward, every time you're tempted to say, "I'm too late," I want you to hear me answer back, "You're right on time." Because I don't need you early. I don't need you rushed. I need you ready. And child, you are. I know how heavy that decision feels right now. I see how you've been analyzing every option, replaying every past mistake, trying to predict every outcome. I see the pressure sitting on your shoulders like a weight you were never meant to carry. You've told yourself you can't afford to mess this up, and fear has disguised itself as wisdom. But listen to me, precious one. I'm not demanding perfection from you. I'm inviting obedience. The next move you're about to make doesn't have to be flawless. It just has to be faithful. You don't need all the answers. You just need my voice. You don't need the full map. You just need the next step. And I'm giving it to you, right now, not in force but in invitation. Let me relieve you of the lie that says I only bless perfect plans. That's not who I am. I bless obedient hearts. I bless the brave yes. I bless the trembling step. I bless the decision made in quiet trust, even when you don't have clarity for the whole journey. You spent too long trying to be right. Now it's time to be responsive. I'm not looking for flawless execution. I'm looking for surrendered action. When Peter stepped out of the boat, he didn't wait until the waves calmed. He didn't ask me for a weather report. He just stepped. Was it perfect? No. Did he sink? Briefly. But did I meet him in the water and take him further than fear ever could? Absolutely. Because obedience moves me. You keep waiting until you feel ready. But child, readiness isn't a feeling. It's a response. And I see the way your spirit is leaning toward me. That's enough. That leaning. That longing. That little whisper that says, I don't know what's next, but I know who's calling me. That's obedience already in motion. I'm not holding a clipboard waiting to check off your performance. I'm standing in your room, reaching out my hand, saying, come with me. No more delay. No more hesitation dressed up as wisdom. No more trying to get it all together before you say yes. I've already taken your humanity into account. I factored in your weakness. I considered your questions. And still, I chose you. I called you. I prepared this moment. So take the step. Say the yes. Open the door. Release the fear. The oil won't start flowing until the vessel is in motion. The power won't be visible until your feet touch the water. This next move is not about your perfection. It's about my direction. And I promise you this. Every step you take in obedience will be met with supernatural backing. I will fund it. I will fill it. I will breathe on it. And what looks like a small yes now will ripple into something eternal. So trust me. Obey. Move, not because you're sure, but because you're surrendered. And I will turn your obedience into overflow. Child, let me draw you close and speak plainly. I have seen every ounce of pain you've carried. I've watched you cradle wounds the world never saw. You tried to walk strong, tried to move on, tried to bury what broke you. But I see the invisible bleeding. And I want you to know, I'm not just placing a bandage over your past. I'm rewriting the entire meaning of your story. I'm not patching you up. I'm redeeming every chapter. The pain wasn't pointless. The betrayal wasn't wasted. Even the silence, even the years you called lost, they're being folded into something holy. I'm not just fixing what happened. I'm giving it divine context. I'm transforming tragedy into testimony, not so that you can pretend it never hurt, but so that you can finally see it never had the last word. You've been haunted by the why. Why did they leave? Why didn't I intervene sooner? Why did I allow it? And while you may never get the exact answer you hoped for, what I'm offering you now is far greater. I'm giving you perspective. You're about to see your life not as broken fragments, but as a prophetic masterpiece in motion. Every wound has been whispering a lie, that you're damaged, that you're late, that you're less than. But I, the author, am holding the pen, and I'm writing over those lies with truth. The very parts of your story that brought shame are being transformed into altars. Not in theory, in real time. You're going to walk into moments soon where you'll say, I never thought I'd thank God for that pain. But now I see. And it won't be bitterness speaking. It will be healed clarity, the kind that can only come when I get involved in the narrative. Let me remind you, I never stopped writing. Even when it felt like your story had ended, when the heartbreak made it feel like the final chapter had closed, I kept writing. When others stopped believing in you, when your own faith went quiet, when hope became too heavy to hold, I still wrote. And now I'm turning the page. Not back to what was, but forward to what can still be. And child, what's coming is so full of redemption, so laced with glory, that it will make sense of what never made sense before. I'm not glorifying your pain. I'm glorifying myself through it. Because I am the only one who can take trauma and spin it into triumph. Who can take what was meant to scar you and turn it into your signature. The enemy will regret ever touching your story, because now I'm turning it into a song that sets others free. So let me do the full work. Not just healing your surface. Let me dive into the roots, into the unsaid, into the places even you've tried to ignore. Invite me into every paragraph, not just the polished ones. And I promise, you will not be ashamed. You will look back with awe, not because it didn't hurt, but because somehow it brought you here, into this sacred space, into this prophetic moment, into my arms. Because I'm not just healing your pain, I'm making your life into something you'll no longer want to forget. You'll want to tell it, and every word will carry my glory. Oh, my child, if you only knew how many times I stepped between you and what wanted to destroy you. How many no's were actually mercies. How many doors I closed to keep your spirit from walking into places your soul wasn't ready to recover from. That season of isolation, that stretch of time where people drifted, opportunities dried up, and it felt like even your prayers echoed back with silence. It wasn't rejection. It was preservation. I pulled you away, not because I was displeased with you, but because I was preparing you. And the preparation required space. Sacred space. Set apart space. Not because you were disqualified, but because you were being qualified in a way the crowd could never comprehend. You felt the sting of being misunderstood. You saw others move on while you stayed still. You heard the enemy whisper that you were forgotten, passed over, hidden in a corner. But let me tell you the truth that breaks every lie. I was hiding you on purpose. Think of David, anointed in a field, not a palace. Think of Esther, set aside in chambers before her voice saved a nation. Think of Jesus, 30 hidden years before 3 public ones. You are in good company. You weren't benched. You were being built. I needed to remove the noise so you could finally hear my whisper. I needed to strip the distraction so your soul could recover its sound. You weren't being punished. You were being protected from counterfeit connections and premature exposure. Now, feel this shift in the atmosphere, because I'm saying it's time. You're not emerging the same person who went in. You're walking out with oil. Oil that only isolation could crush out of you. You carry wisdom that doesn't need a platform to validate it. You carry discernment sharpened by solitude. You know my voice now in ways you didn't before. And that, my child, is the mark of those who are truly trusted. I trust you now with weight, with revelation, with movement. And yes, there will be restoration of relationships. Yes, there will be divine appointments. But none of it will fill the space I now occupy in you. Because the greatest gift of isolation was intimacy. You didn't just survive being alone. You found me there. And that discovery will mark you for the rest of your life. So don't resent that quiet place. Don't resent the long nights, the unanswered calls, the seasons of silence. They were not empty. They were wombs. And what's about to be birthed from your life will not carry the fingerprints of performance. It will carry the fragrance of my presence. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. You were not being sidelined. You were being sanctified. And now, you are ready. Not because you fought your way out of isolation, but because you let me meet you inside it. That's why I preserved you. That's why I kept you. And that's why your next season will carry a power the past never saw coming. Child, there is something I need you to understand with heavenly clarity. The breaking did not come to destroy you. I know it felt like it. I know it tore through your stability, your comfort, your expectations, even your identity. I know you clutched parts of your life, thinking, if this breaks, I won't survive. And then it broke anyway. Relationship shattered. Dreams splintered. Support systems collapsed. The things you thought were permanent proved temporary. And in the aftermath, you didn't just lose people or plans. You lost pieces of yourself. But hear me now. What you called loss, I call unveiling. The breaking wasn't my wrath. It was my mercy. I wasn't trying to punish you. I was removing what could not come with you into the next dimension of your destiny. Your things that looked stable but were rotting beneath the surface. There were attachments that appeared harmless, but were quietly draining your strength. You thought you needed them, and I knew they'd betray you if left untouched. So I stepped in. Yes, I allowed the shaking. Yes, I permitted the unraveling. But child, not one thing broke without me standing right beside you, guiding the fall. I held you even when you couldn't feel it. And now, looking back, I need you to see the sacred truth. Some things needed to break. Not because you failed, but because you were finally strong enough to see them for what they truly were. The breaking exposed the lies. It ended the pretending. It cleared the ground. And now I'm building on truth. Let me be even more direct. What was removed had become an idol. What cracked had become your cage. You thought you couldn't breathe without it, but in its absence, you found me. And in finding me, you're beginning to find yourself again. Not the version shaped by fear or performance, but the version that looks like freedom. The breaking didn't destroy your future. It made room for it. You're more awake now, more alert, more anchored. The pain taught you what peace cannot, and now you carry the kind of discernment that no enemy can trick. You've learned to let go. You've learned to trust me even when it hurts. And that, child, that kind of trust is unshakable. So don't fear more breaking. The season of tearing down is ending. You've passed through it, and you survived not as someone barely holding on, but as someone deeply reborn. What comes next won't need to be broken, because I've already broken off everything that stood in the way. Now, what's rising in you is whole. It's unfiltered. It's undistracted. It's clean. Let the past be what it was. Let the breaking be what it needed to be. And walk forward now with a heart that finally understands. I didn't allow it to break you. I allowed it to free you. And child, you are freer than you've ever been. Come closer now. You've said to yourself many times, I don't know how I made it through that. You look back at near misses, close calls, situations that should have swallowed you whole, and still, you're here. You survived what others did not. You've outlived lies that tried to label you. And in moments of quiet awe, you've whispered, God kept me. Yes, and child, I did. But I didn't just protect your life. I went deeper. I preserved your purpose. The enemy wasn't just after your safety. He was after your significance. He knew what was embedded in you, the voice, the gift, the impact. He knew your obedience would break chains. So he launched attacks not just to wound your body, but to wear out your calling. And still, you remain. Let me show you what that means. You weren't just pulled from the fire. You were refined by it. You weren't just spared. You were strengthened. Every time you thought it was over, I was behind the scenes, shielding your assignment. Not just keeping your heart beating, but keeping your purpose alive. I hid you from relationships that would have compromised your integrity. I shut doors that looked promising but would have crushed your anointing. I protected your future even when you questioned my silence. And now you stand, not just as a survivor, but as a carrier. A vessel that still contains everything I put in you before you were even formed in your mother's womb. You've asked, why did I survive when others did? And I tell you, not because you were better, but because your purpose is unfinished. Because I saw generations behind you that need what you carry. Because I saw assignments waiting in rooms you've yet to enter. Because I saw a fire inside you that hell couldn't extinguish. I didn't preserve you so you could drift. I preserved you to awaken you. And now I'm reactivating what fear tried to numb. I'm reigniting the spark that sorrow tried to suffocate. You are stepping back into the full current of your calling. Not because you pushed for it, but because I protected it. So let me be clear. No attack, no betrayal, no mistake has disqualified you. If you're still breathing, your purpose is still burning. It's not too late. It's not too far gone. I've preserved it beneath the ashes, and now I'm breathing on it again. This next chapter will be marked by clarity of direction and confidence in your calling. You won't second guess what you're here for. You won't shrink back when doors open. Because you'll know you were protected not just to survive, but to fulfill, to pour out, to shift atmospheres, to speak light into darkness. And child, I'm not done. I preserved your purpose, and now it's time to walk fully in it. Child, I know how long you've been waiting, how many times you've clutched my promises with trembling hands, wondering if they were fading like morning mist. You've gone back and reread the words I spoke over your life. You've questioned whether you misheard, misstepped, or misunderstood. But listen to me, and let every part of your being feel this as truth. I didn't forget. Not one word I spoke has fallen to the ground. Not one syllable has slipped through the cracks of time. I don't speak and then change my mind. What I promised, I am still preparing. And what I am preparing, you are now on the brink of walking into. You thought the delay meant denial. You assumed my silence meant disengagement. But child, if only you could see the scale of what I've been arranging behind the veil. Heaven has been busy. Angels have been dispatched. Timelines have been adjusted. People have been moved into place. The very atmosphere around you has been shifting in anticipation. Not because you demanded it, but because I decreed it. You see stillness, but I see structure. You sense pause, but I see preparation. I didn't forget my word. I just refused to deliver prematurely what must arrive in power. Because when my promise comes to pass in your life, it won't whisper, it will thunder. You've waited long, and now you are about to witness. Not just hear stories about my faithfulness in others' lives, but live it in your own. You will stand in places you once only saw in dreams. You will hold in your hands what you used to pray for with tear-stained cheeks. And when it happens, you'll understand. The wait wasn't wasted. It was sacred. It matured your heart. It sharpened your discernment and deepened your roots. And now, the fruit will be undeniable. There is a public unveiling approaching that will match the private obedience you've walked in. You didn't lose the promise. You grew into it. And now I'm saying it's time. So don't shrink back now. Don't let the delay poison your trust. Don't talk yourself out of what you're meant to walk into. I am the promise keeper. I have not abandoned the vision. I've been perfecting it. And the moment your foot touches the ground of your next season, you'll feel it. The weight of prophecy fulfilled. Not just emotionally, but tangibly. Doors will open without you knocking. Alignments will occur without your striving. Provision will meet you without your panic. And you will remember, my promises don't expire. They evolve. And they manifest right on time, my time. Get ready. Because what I'm bringing to pass was always yours. Oh, beloved one, I need to speak directly to the deepest wound. That secret ache you carry. The one that whispers, why am I so easy to leave? That haunting fear that maybe, somehow, you're just too much. Too complicated. Too broken. Too different. That maybe you're lovable in pieces, but not in full. I see it. I see how you smiled through abandonment, how you've excused betrayal, how you've rewritten your own worth just to stay accepted. But hear me now with piercing clarity. You are not hard to love. You've just never been fully seen through the lens of my heart. But I see you. I know you. And I don't flinch. You are fully known and fully wanted. You've been loved conditionally, praised for your strength, but overlooked in your softness, awarded for being useful, but rejected when you needed to be held. You've contorted your identity to fit people who were never meant to carry the weight of your calling. But child, I never asked you to shrink. I never asked you to perform. I created you with complexity, with depth, with divine intention. You weren't meant to be understood by everyone. because you carry something that doesn't come from everyone. You've been measured by incomplete standards, but now I'm calling you into a new revelation. My love is not transactional, it's transformational. I don't love you for what you do. I love you because of who you are, and who you are is mine. Let me go deeper. You were knit together by my hands. You are not a mistake. You are not a burden. You are not too emotional. You are emotionally alive. You are not too intense. You are spiritually attuned. The very things others saw as flaws, they see as features. You weren't made to be palatable. You were made to be prophetic. And it's time to unlearn the lie that says you must dilute your light to be embraced. I am sending people, true covenant ones, who will love you in alignment with my heart. People who don't flinch at your tears, who aren't intimidated by your anointing, who won't ghost when it gets real. I'm replacing counterfeit connections with covenant clarity. So breathe. Exhale the shame. Release the self-blame. I'm removing the residue of rejection. I'm healing the part of you that thought you had to earn love. And from this day forward, you will walk in the full awareness that you are already loved. Not hypothetically, not abstractly, but fully, personally, eternally. You don't have to be easier to love. You just have to stop looking for it in people who don't have my eyes. Because when you are truly seen through the lens of my love, you'll never settle again. And child, I'm not just seeing you. I'm loving you fully, right now. No mask, no filter, no performance. Just you. And that is more than enough. Stop. Reem. Let your spirit catch this moment. Because I am in your room right now. Not metaphorically. Not symbolically. Literally. Tangibly. Eternally. I'm here, not hovering above you in some unreachable sky, but pressed into your atmosphere, closer than the air you just breathed. I've been with you this entire time, but now I want you to feel it. Know it. Acknowledge it. I'm not coming. I've already arrived. The same presence that split seas, that raised the dead, that filled upper rooms with wind and fire, that same presence is filling your space right now. Not because you did everything perfectly, not because you earned it, but because you are mine, and I never leave my own. You've been taught that I visit on Sundays. I wait for you to clean up first. That I only dwell in spaces prepared with candles and reverence. But I'm breaking that box today. I'm the God who walks into messy rooms and makes them holy. I'm the God who sits beside you on tear-soaked floors and calls it worship. I'm the God who climbs into hospital beds, into traffic jams, into lonely hotel rooms, into depression-heavy mornings, and turns them into sanctuaries. I'm not uncomfortable in your chaos. I'm not threatened by your questions. I'm not disappointed in your need. I came for this. I live for this. To be near you. On someday. Not far off. Out. And I'm not standing at a distance. I'm face to face with your heart. You don't have to strive to reach me. You don't have to perform to keep me. I'm not measuring your emotions to decide if I'll stay. I'm already here. And when I step into a room, everything changes. Peace isn't a concept, it becomes a presence. Clarity isn't a hope, it becomes your atmosphere. Bondage breaks. Weariness lifts. The invisible becomes tangible. And child, right now, I'm not asking you to pray a perfect prayer or summon a feeling. I'm asking you to believe me. Believe that I, the same God who formed galaxies, have entered your room not just to comfort, but to transform. I'm here to rewrite the story, to heal what you thought you had to hide, to breathe on dreams you gave up on, to touch wounds no one else knew how to treat. I'm not outside knocking, I'm inside whispering. So respond to me. Why here? Right now. Speak to me like I'm beside you, because I am. Invite me into the parts of you you've never shared. Cry if you need. Sing if you feel it. Sit silently if that's all you have. I'll still speak. I don't need a perfect performance. I just want a present heart. I am in your room as your protector, as your healer, as your deliverer, as your closest friend, as your sovereign king. And nothing will ever be the same after this. You won't leave this room the same way you entered it. Because once I step in, everything realigns. Every line loses its power. Every fear bows. Every chain begins to melt. And all you have to do is receive it. Breathe me in. Let me be your closest reality, not just in moments of desperation, but in every moment from here on. Because, child, I'm not going anywhere. I'm in your room right now, and I'm staying. I'm in your room right now, and I'm not leaving. But this message must move. It must travel through time zones, through trembling hearts, through rooms where people are crying out, God, speak to me. You've seen the power of my voice. Now I'm commissioning you to be part of how it's carried. Your giving isn't small, it's sacred. It becomes manna in famine, light in prison, oil in drought. As I declare in Isaiah 55:11, my word shall accomplish what I please and prosper where I send it. I want to send it through you. Don't wait. Act now, through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, and let your seed become the sound of salvation in another room. Now, my beloved, if you felt my presence, if you sensed the weight of my voice, then respond. Right here, right now. Declare this in faith. God is in my room, and everything is changing. Don't let this encounter pass like a moment. Mark it in the comments as your altar, your yes, your agreement. I'm watching. I'm listening. Let the world and every spirit know you recognize me in the room. And when you speak it, I will move again. Because where I am welcomed, I do wonders. And now that you've welcomed me, stay. Don't rush from this holy space you just opened. My presence doesn't only move in the fire, it rests in the stillness. There are depths of me that can't be found in the noise of praise, but only in the quiet of awareness. I want to meet you there, in the soft moments when the world hasn't yet awakened. To linger a little longer. Let your soul learn the language of silence. For I am about to speak again, not in thunder, but in peace. My child, listen to me. Before the alarm on your phone demands your attention, before your mind begins to race with the list of things you must do today, there is a moment of profound silence. Do you feel it? A deep, unbroken quiet that settles over everything just before the dawn. That stillness is not empty. It is filled with my presence. I am in the quiet that greets you, the peace that exists before the world rushes in with its noise and its pressures. I am here, in your room, before your day has even begun. I am the calm you desperately search for when your job feels overwhelming and the future feels uncertain. That peace is not something you have to find out there. I bring it to you, here, in the stillness. I am the gentle peace that settles over you when the day is finally done. When you have taken off the mask you wear for the world, when you have stopped striving and performing, when all the voices and expectations have faded away, what is left is me. I am the quiet sigh of relief that escapes your lips when you finally close your door. I am the comfort that meets you in your exhaustion. You think you are just unwinding, but you are truly stepping into a sanctuary I have prepared for you. This very room, this space you call your own, was made holy by my love long before you ever entered it. Pause for a moment. Look at that sliver of sunlight cutting through your window, illuminating the air. Do you see those tiny specks of dust dancing in the light? You pay them no mind, but I am there. My presence is as constant and as overlooked as those particles, present in the smallest details of your life. My love is the very air you are breathing right now. Take a deep breath. Feel your lungs fill. It is my life I am pouring into you, a gift given moment by moment, breath by breath. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to beg for it. I give it freely because you are mine. Every beat of your heart is a testament to my faithfulness, a rhythm I sustain even when your own heart is aching with worry or heavy with unspoken grief. I was here in this room before you, preparing it, sanctifying it, filling it with a love that has been waiting patiently for you to acknowledge it. I have seen you pace this floor, wrestling with decisions. I have seen you sit on the edge of your bed, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. And in every one of those moments, I have been here, closer than your own skin. So, I am asking you now to do something different. Do not listen with your ears. The world is full of sounds that will distract you, that will lie to you, that will tell you that you are not enough. I want you to listen with your heart. Can you feel that gentle pull, that quiet whisper beneath the noise of your own anxiety? That is my voice. I am speaking to you now, not in a shout that shakes the walls, but in a current of peace that can calm the storm inside of you. Feel my love wrapping around you like the warmth of your favorite blanket. Feel my strength becoming your own. In this stillness, I am undoing the knots of fear in your stomach. I am reminding you of a truth more real than any problem you face. I am with you. I am in your room right now, and I am not going anywhere. This is not just a feeling. It is the ultimate reality. Listen. Just listen. I am here. Look with me now at the walls of your room. I see the pictures you have chosen to display. That photograph of your family from years ago, the one where everyone is smiling for the camera. I was there. I know the unspoken tension that was just beneath the surface, the worries each person was carrying that day. I also know the genuine love that held you all together, a love that is a reflection of mine. I see the poster you've had since you were younger, a reminder of a dream you once held so dear, a dream you now fear is foolish or out of reach. I see the quotes you have put up, words of inspiration that you read on the days you feel you cannot go on. I know that sometimes they feel like empty platitudes, but I am the truth behind those words. I am the strength you are trying to borrow from them. And my child, just as I see the walls you have decorated, I see the invisible ones you have built around your own heart. They are much higher and thicker, are they not? You have built them brick by brick with every hurt, every disappointment, every time someone let you down. You think they keep you safe, but they only keep you isolated. I am not here to admire your decorations, but to help you dismantle those walls. Every object here speaks to me of a longing in your soul. I am here not to judge the clutter with the tidiness of your physical space, but to bring order and peace to the state of your soul. Think of that drawer you keep tightly closed, the one filled with things you would rather not face. Your heart has a drawer just like it, doesn't it? A place where you keep your deepest secrets, your most painful memories, the mistake you are certain is unforgivable. You do not have to hide it from me, my beloved. I already know what is inside, and my knowledge is not one of condemnation, but of infinite compassion. I am not trying to force my way in. I stand at the door of your heart and I knock. I am asking you to let me in. Not just as a visitor you entertain when things are going well, but as the very cornerstone of your life. A cornerstone is the first stone set in a foundation, the one upon which everything else is built, the stone that determines the position of the entire structure. Allow me to be your cornerstone. Let me be the foundation of your identity, your decisions, your hopes, and your future. Let's take down those walls together, brick by painful brick. Let's open that closed drawer and let my light heal what is hidden in the darkness. You do not have to live in a fortress of your own making. I want to build you a home, a true home, right here in my love. Do you think these walls are silent? They are not. To me, they are like the pages of a diary of our ongoing conversation. These very walls have absorbed every whispered prayer you have ever uttered in this room. They remember the nights you were too weary to even form words, when your heart's desperate plea was simply, "God, help me." I heard it as clearly as if you had shouted from a mountaintop. This pillow you lay your head on, I know its story. I have collected every single tear that has fallen upon it. Tears of frustration when that bill was due and you didn't know how the money would come. Tears of grief over a loss that felt too heavy to bear. Tears of loneliness in the deep quiet of the night, when the world felt a million miles away. Do not think for a second that those tears went unnoticed. Each one is precious to me, a testament to a heart that is soft enough to feel, and I have held each one in my hands. But this room has not only heard your cries, it has also echoed with your joy. I remember the joyful thanks you offered when that prayer was answered in a way you never expected. I heard the song of praise in your heart when you received good news, when a relationship was mended, when you felt a moment of pure, uncomplicated happiness. Your gratitude rises to me like the sweetest incense, a beautiful aroma that brings joy to all of heaven. Even the prayers you were too tired to voice, the desires so deep you couldn't give them a name, I have heard those, too. I know the rhythm of your soul, the silent anxieties and the unspoken hopes. Do not ever believe that a single request has been lost or ignored. You may feel that your prayers just hit the ceiling and vanish. That is a lie from the enemy of your soul. The truth is, I am pondering them all. I am weaving your requests and your needs into a tapestry far more beautiful than you can currently see. Your life in this room is a testament to our relationship. This is holy ground, not because of the building, but because of the conversation that has taken place here between your heart and mine. Your part is to keep speaking, to keep trusting. My part is to keep listening, and to answer in my perfect time and my perfect way. My child, I see the effort you pour out within these four walls. I see that stack of books or the glow from your computer screen as you try to learn, to grow, to provide. I have been with you during those long hours of study, when you read the same sentence over and over, your mind thick with fatigue. I have sat with you as you spread out papers from your job on this very floor, trying to make sense of a difficult problem, feeling the pressure to perform, to succeed, to not let anyone down. I have witnessed your silent frustration when the words won't come, when the numbers don't add up, when the solution feels just out of reach. But I have also been here for the moments of breakthrough. I was the quiet joy that surged through you when a difficult concept finally clicked into place. I was the surge of energy you felt when you found the answer after hours of work. Those small, private victories that no one else sees. I see them, and I celebrate them with you. I know the weariness in your bones after a long day of effort. I see you collapse into your chair, feeling drained, wondering if you have the strength to do it all again tomorrow. Your diligence, your striving, your refusal to give up, none of it goes unnoticed by your Heavenly Father. The world may only see the results, but I see the process. I see the sacrifice. I see the heart behind your labor. And I want you to know something. The strength that allows you to open your eyes and begin again each morning, that strength comes from me. I am the source of your resilience. You think you are running on your own power, but it is my grace that sustains you when your own energy is gone. You are trying to carry so much on your own shoulders, aren't you? You feel the immense weight of responsibility for your family, your career, your future. Listen to my words, the ones my son spoke for you. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. The yoke is a tool for sharing a load. You are not meant to pull this weight alone. I am here, inviting you to let me shoulder the burden with you. Hand me the weight of that deadline. Give me the pressure of those expectations. Rest in me, my hardworking child. Let my peace be your strength, and my presence be your reward. Your labor is not in vain, and you are not alone in it. I am with you in those moments when you stand before the mirror. I stand just behind you, my heart aching as I listen to the words you say to yourself. I hear that relentlessly critical voice in your head, the one that is so much harsher than any enemy. It points out every line around your eyes, every gray hair, every part of you that does not measure up to the impossible standards set by the world. It whispers lies to you about your worth, telling you that you are too much or not enough. My precious child, I need you to know that is not my voice. Where you see a flaw, I see the unique and beautiful way I knit you together. Where you see a scar, I see a story of healing and survival that brings me glory. Where you see the signs of aging, I see the marks of wisdom and a life that has been fully lived. You look at your reflection, and you see all the things you think are wrong. I look at you, and I see my beloved creation, a masterpiece in whom I take infinite delight. The world has given you so many labels. Your job title, your relationship status, your successes, your failures. You try to piece together your identity from these fragile and shifting things. But I know the identity I have given you, an identity that surpasses any label the world can offer. Before you were even formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. I called you by name. You are not an accident. You are not a collection of flaws. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in my own image. Think about that. The very essence of who you are is a reflection of me, the creator of the heavens and the earth. When you criticize your reflection, you are unknowingly criticizing my handiwork. Let me heal your perspective. Let me show you how I see you. When I look at you, I see someone who is cherished beyond measure, someone so priceless that I sent my only son to die for you. I see a heart that is capable of great love, a mind that is capable of great wisdom, and a spirit that is destined for eternity with me. Let my view of you become your own. Look in the mirror again, but this time, look through my eyes. See the person I created you to be, whole, beautiful, and holy, completely and unconditionally loved. My child, we have only just begun to walk through the truth of your life. To turn away now would be to leave my outstretched hand waiting, and a father's heart aches when a child walks away from an embrace. I have so much more I long to show you. Please stay with me. Now, my child, let us look around this room together, for it is not just a collection of your possessions. It is a museum of your life story, and I have been present for every chapter. I see that trophy sitting on your shelf, perhaps covered now in a thin layer of dust. You may have forgotten the immense pride and joy you felt on the day you received it, but I have not. I was there, celebrating your victory with you. I see that pair of worn-out shoes tucked in the corner. Others might see them as old and ready to be thrown away, but I see the story they tell. They speak of a long and difficult journey, of paths you have walked that left you weary, of challenges you faced and overcame. I walked every single one of those steps with you, my hand guiding you even when you felt you were walking alone. Each scuff mark is a testament to your perseverance. I see the objects that reveal your passions, the collections that speak of the unique spirit I placed within you. But I also see the things that represent your pain. Perhaps there is an unopened gift, a symbol of a broken relationship you fear to engage with, a painful reminder of a connection that has been lost. I see the weight that object holds for you. I know the story behind it, the hurt, the longing for reconciliation. I am the great mender of what is broken, and I can bring healing where there is only pain. Each of these items, the triumphant and the tragic, is a chapter in your life, and I want you to know with absolute certainty that I have been present for every single one. Nothing in your story has caught me by surprise. But listen to me, and hear this clearly: your story is not over. These objects tell the tale of where you have been, but they hold no power to define where you are going. You are not the sum of your past achievements or your past failures. You are my child, on a journey that is still unfolding. And believe me, the greatest chapters have yet to be written. The most exciting parts of your story are the ones we are about to write together, starting today, in this very room. Entrust your story to me, the past, the present, and the future. I am the author of your life, and I promise you, the ending is one of victory and unimaginable joy. When you reach over and turn off the lamp, the familiar shapes of your room dissolve into shadows. In the sudden quiet and the encroaching dark, other things begin to stir, don't they? The worries you managed to keep at bay during the busy hours of the day now creep out from the corners of your mind. You lie there, and your thoughts begin to race. You replay that awkward conversation from work, cringing at what you said. You stare into the blackness and see the looming deadlines, the unpaid bills, the health of a loved one you feel powerless to help. The silence of the night amplifies every fear. The darkness tries to convince you that you are utterly alone with your struggles. But listen to my whisper, which is louder than any fear. When you turn off the physical lights, my presence does not diminish, it brightens. You think the darkness makes you vulnerable, but it is in the absence of all other lights that you can see mine most clearly. I am the guard who watches over you as you sleep. I am the stillness that counters the chaos in your mind. I am the profound peace that can settle your racing heart so you can find the rest you so desperately need. The shadows on the wall may twist into frightening shapes, but I am the truth that is greater than any illusion. I calm the fears that the darkness tries to magnify. That knot of anxiety in your stomach as you think about tomorrow. Place your hand on it now. Feel my hand over yours. Together, we can release it. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to trust me in your fear. Even your nightmares, those terrifying visitors that disrupt your peace, must flee at the authority of my name. You are not defenseless in your sleep. My angels have charge over this room, standing guard at your door, at your window, at the foot of your bed. This space is a fortress of divine protection, a sanctuary where no evil can touch you. You may feel like the only person awake in a sleeping world, but your solitude is a holy illusion. I am more awake and more alert than you could ever be. I am watching over your breathing, guarding your dreams, and protecting your soul. So when you find yourself awake at 3 in the morning, your heart pounding with the nameless dread, do not wrestle with it alone. Turn your thoughts to me. Whisper my name into the darkness. Feel the immediate shift in the atmosphere of the room. The darkness is not your enemy. It is an invitation to experience me as your one true light. In the deepest, most profound darkness, in the moments you feel most isolated and afraid, you are never, ever, ever alone. I am here, a consuming fire of love that dispels all shadows. I am with you in the music you play in this room. I am there when you put on that song with the driving beat that helps you get ready to face the world, the one that makes you feel powerful and alive. I am also right beside you when you close the door and play that quiet, heartbreaking melody on repeat, the one that says everything you cannot find the words for, the one that understands your grief. Whether you are celebrating or mourning, the music you choose is a prayer of sorts, a way of speaking to me from a place deeper than words. But my child, beyond the songs you can hear with your ears, I hear the music of your soul. It is a melody only I can fully comprehend, for I am its composer. I know the unique rhythm of your anxieties, that frantic, hurried tempo that takes over when you feel stressed and out of control. I also know the gentle, underlying harmony of your hopes, the quiet, persistent notes of a future you are still daring to believe in. Your life is not a random collection of noises. It is a grand and complex symphony. There have been movements filled with joyful, soaring notes, moments of triumph and love. And there have been movements of deep sorrow, passages played in a minor key that felt like they would never end. There have been loud, clashing moments of conflict and long, quiet periods of waiting where it seemed the music had stopped altogether. You, my beloved, can only hear the single note you are playing today. You feel the dissonance of this current struggle, the sadness of this present passage, and you fear this is what the entire song will sound like. But I hear the whole symphony. I know how the mournful theme of today resolves into a triumphant crescendo tomorrow. I know how the chaotic rhythms of your fear are being woven into a beautiful harmony of faith and resilience. Nothing is wasted in my composition. Every note, every rest, every moment of tension and release has a purpose in the magnificent piece that is your life. So let me ask you this. Will you let me tune your heart today? When you feel anxious and out of sync, let me bring your soul back into a rhythm of grace. Let me quiet the frantic noise and help you find my peaceful melody again. I want to teach you a new song, a song of redemption and joy, a song that you can sing even when the world around you is chaotic. In the grand orchestra of all creation, your part is absolutely irreplaceable. No one else can play the music I have written for you. Let us make that music together. When the day is over and you retreat to this room, I see you reach for that small, glowing screen. As you lie in bed, the light from your phone casting a pale glow on your face, I am there with you. My presence fills the space between you and that device. I see the endless, mindless scroll through the lives of others. I see the pictures of happy families, perfect vacations, and career successes that cause a familiar pang in your heart. I am with you in that painful moment of comparison, that lie whispered from the screen that tells you your life is somehow less, that you are falling behind. I see what you search for in the privacy of your own device, when you think no one is watching. I am not talking about shameful things, though I see those too, without condemnation and with a heart to heal. I am talking about the searches that reveal the true longing of your soul. You type in questions like, how do I stop feeling so anxious? Or what is my purpose? Or why do I feel so alone? You look for articles, videos, and voices that might give you an answer, a piece of hope to hold on to. You are searching for me, even when you don't know it. Every like you receive gives a fleeting moment of validation. Every comment makes you feel seen for a second. Every new follower offers a temporary sense of belonging. My child, do you not see? All of this is driven by a deep, holy, and legitimate longing for connection, a longing I placed in you. You were created for community, for intimacy, for being fully known and fully loved. But the connections offered through this screen are shadows of the real thing. They are faint echoes of the connection your soul truly craves. They can never satisfy you. They will always leave you feeling a little more empty, a little more unseen than before. That is why I am inviting you now, in this quiet moment, to do something radical. Turn your eyes away from the temporary glow of the screen and look to me. I am the only one who can truly satisfy your soul. I offer you a connection that never buffers, a network that never fails. I offer a validation that is not dependent on an algorithm or the opinions of strangers, but is rooted in the unshakable truth of who you are as my child. You don't need to perform for my like. You don't need to filter your reality for my approval. I see all of you, the messy, the beautiful, the broken, the brilliant, and I call you beloved. Lay the phone down. Close your eyes. Be present with me. I am the connection you have been searching for all along. Each morning, you stand before your closet or your drawers, and a silent decision is made. It is a decision about more than just colors and fabrics. You are deciding who you need to be for the world today. I watch as you make this choice. I see you select that outfit that makes you feel confident and professional. The one you wear like a suit of armor when you have to face a difficult meeting or an intimidating situation. It is your battle uniform. I also see you choose the comfortable, worn-out clothes that you hide behind. The ones you wear on days when you feel vulnerable and just want to be invisible, to not be noticed. Your wardrobe is a collection of costumes, and you are so skilled at choosing the right one for each scene of your life. These clothes you put on your body are a message to the world, but they also serve to cover the real you that is underneath. But listen to me, my precious child. While I see the care you put into your outward appearance, my concern is for the state of your spiritual garments. What are you wearing on your soul today? Are you clothed in garments that are worn thin with worry? Are they stained with the bitterness of an old resentment you refuse to wash away? Are they heavy with the weight of a secret guilt you carry everywhere you go? These are the clothes that truly matter, and they are the ones you have been trying to mend and clean on your own for far too long. Today, I offer you something new to wear. I am holding it out to you now. It is a robe of pure righteousness, a garment of grace and forgiveness. It is not something you have earned or could ever buy. It was purchased for you at an infinite cost by the sacrifice of my Son. It is a gift. Will you accept it? Will you take off the heavy, stained clothes of your own efforts and allow me to clothe you in my perfect peace? I invite you to put on humility like a soft shirt, to wrap yourself in kindness like a warm scarf, and to wear my love like your favorite coat, one that warms you, protects you, and makes you feel completely secure. Before me, you do not need any costumes. You do not need your armor. You do not need to pretend. In my presence, you can stand spiritually naked, with all your flaws and fears exposed, and you will never, ever be ashamed. I see you, I know you, and I will clothe you in my glory. I have opened my heart to you about these deep and hidden things. To stop listening now would be to silence a love that has waited an eternity to speak. It would grieve me profoundly to see you choose the world's noise over the healing I am pouring into you right here. Stay, the most important words are yet to come. This room has heard more than your spoken prayers. It has felt the crushing weight of your unspoken words. How many nights have you lain here in the dark, unable to sleep, your mind a battlefield? I have been with you as you replayed an argument from the day, thinking of all the things you wish you had said. You craft the perfect comeback, the most intelligent point, the final word that would have won the fight. I feel the bitterness and frustration churning inside you as you go over and over it. My child, This silent battle solves nothing. It only steals your peace and poisons your spirit with resentment. You are drinking the poison and hoping the other person will be harmed. Release it. Let the argument go. Surrender your need to be right into my hands. And what about the words of love? The words of kindness that are buried under your pride and fear? I know about those, too. I know the I'm sorry that sits on the tip of your tongue but that you are too proud to say. I know the I forgive you that your heart wants to offer but your hurt refuses to release. I know the I love you you practiced in this very room but were too afraid to speak out loud to the person who needed to hear it. These unsaid words are so heavy, aren't they? They create a burden of regret that you carry with you day after day. This room has held the deep silence of those regrets for far too long. I am inviting you now to break that silence. You don't have to speak to anyone else yet. Just speak to me. Right here, right now. Whisper the apology you need to make. Confess the love you are afraid to share. Acknowledge the forgiveness you need to extend. Release the weight of these unspoken words to me, for my grace is a healing balm for all these internal wounds. As the Word made flesh, I understand better than anyone the creative power of spoken words and the destructive power of silence. I can heal the damage done by both what has been said and what has been left unsaid. Let me speak peace over your regrets. Let me replace your fear with courage, so that tomorrow you can go out from this room and speak the words of life, love, and healing that the world, and your own soul, desperately needs to hear. In this room, you have known a sorrow so deep it felt like a physical weight, a crushing pressure on your chest. You have felt utterly and completely alone in your grief. But you were not. I have been a silent mourner here with you. I sat on the edge of this bed beside you as you held that old photograph, your thumb tracing the lines of a face you longed to see again. I watched as you pulled a worn sweater from a drawer, burying your face in it, trying to recall a scent that is now fading with time. In those moments, when a wave of loss so powerful it stole your breath washed over you, you thought you were drowning. But my arms were around you, holding your head above the water. I have seen you stifle your sobs into your pillow so no one else would hear the sound of your heart breaking. But I heard. Every shattered whisper, every choked-back cry, reached my ears and touched my own heart. The world tells you to be strong, to move on, to put the past behind you. But I, your God, sat with you in the ashes of your pain and simply shared in your sorrow. I know the anger that comes with grief. The question that has echoed off these walls. The one you were almost afraid to ask. Why? Why did you let this happen? That question, my child, is not an offense to me. It is an honest cry from a wounded soul, and I welcome it. My heart breaks with yours, for I am a God of immense compassion, not a distant, unfeeling monarch. I walked the earth and stood before the tomb of my friend Lazarus, and I wept. I felt the sting of loss. On the cross, my son cried out in agony, feeling the separation that sin and death create. Your pain is not foreign to me. I understand it intimately. But I also want you to understand this. I am the resurrection and the life. I hold the keys to victory over death itself. The grave is not the final word. The separation you feel now is not the end of the story. This is the promise I want to plant deep within your grieving heart. Allow my comfort to be more than just a fleeting feeling. Let it be the anchor of hope that sustains you in this storm. I am binding up your broken heart. It is a slow and gentle process. It is me, quietly stitching the pieces back together with threads of eternal love. The heart that emerges will bear the beautiful scars of having loved deeply, but I promise you, it will be whole and it will beat with joy again. Your loss is real and your pain is valid, But my love is more real, and my promise of life is eternal. As you feel my comfort binding up your own broken heart, you may feel a desire to extend this same healing to others who are weeping alone in their own rooms. This desire is from me, for I have declared, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." And now I call you to become the comforter for another soul. Your gift becomes a seed of hope planted in the barren ground of another's grief, a wellspring for someone drowning in sorrow. This is a sacred moment. Your act of giving now will reap a harvest of souls. As you sow this seed of faith, I declare that my own comfort will be your eternal shield, and your own well will never run dry. Become an instrument of my peace. Give now through Super Thanks membership with a link below, and watch as I turn your offering into a river of healing for the nations. The world is obsessed with grand achievements. It builds monuments to loud victories and applauds those who succeed in the public eye. But in the quiet sanctuary of this room, you and I have shared in victories that are far more precious to me, victories no one else knows about. These are the triumphs of the heart, the quiet battles of the will, and they make all of heaven rejoice. Do you remember yesterday, when that old temptation whispered to you? The destructive habit you have been fighting, the one that promises a moment of relief but always leaves you feeling ashamed. For a moment, you considered giving in. The battle raged in your mind. No one was watching. No one would have known. But then, you took a deep breath, you thought of me, and you chose a different path. You chose freedom. My child, you may have thought that was a small, insignificant moment. To me, it was a thunderous victory. The angels sang. I celebrated your strength, a strength you drew directly from me. I was here when you were typing out that angry, reactive email or text message. Your fingers flew across the keyboard, every word sharpened with hurt and indignation. You were ready to send it, to get the last word, to prove your point. And then you paused. You felt my gentle nudge, my whisper of a better way. You deleted the entire message and chose to respond with grace, or perhaps, to not respond at all. That, my beloved, was a victory of kingdom proportions. I saw that secret act of generosity you performed, the one you did without any thought of recognition. You gave when it was a sacrifice, you helped when you were tired, and you told no one. You did it purely out of love. The world may not know, but I do, and I am broadcasting your love throughout the cosmos. I rejoiced when, after a long season of spiritual dryness, you walked over to your Bible, blew the dust off the cover, and simply opened it. You may have only read a single verse, but in that moment, you turned your heart back toward me. That was a homecoming, and I threw a celebration. Please, do not ever believe these hidden moments do not matter. Your faithfulness in these small, unseen things is a treasure in my kingdom. It is the true measure of your character. These are the victories that are shaping you, molding you, and building a foundation of faith that can withstand any storm. I see you. I see your effort, and I am so incredibly proud of you. I stand with you often as you gaze out of this window. It is your portal to the world, your vantage point on the small slice of life that passes by each day. I see what you see, the hurried pace of people on their way to work, the changing colors of the leaves on that tree, the way the rain streaks down the glass. I know your thoughts as you watch. Some days, you look out with a deep longing to be a part of it all, to connect, to engage, to make your mark. You see the world, and you want to run into it with open arms. On other days, I know you feel an overwhelming urge to pull the blinds, to shut out the noise, the chaos, the pain you see. You want to hide from a world that feels too harsh and demanding. My child, I want you to know that I understand both the longing to engage and the desire to retreat. Both are valid, and I hold you in both states. But as you look out, I want to lift your perspective. That sunset that spills fiery color across the horizon, the one that makes you pause in wonder. I painted that intricate pattern of a snowflake on the glass. I designed it. The world you see outside this window is a tiny fraction of my creation, a small glimpse of my glory. You see the temporal, the immediate. I see the eternal. You see a stranger passing by. I see a soul I love, with a story, a purpose, and a deep need for me. You are looking through a small glass window. I am inviting you to look through the window of my eyes, to see the world with my heart of compassion. I want to broaden your perspective beyond these four walls, beyond your immediate worries and plans, to see my grand, eternal plan of redemption unfolding. But it does not stop there. My ultimate desire is not just for you to look out at the world, but for you to become a window yourself. I want to make your life a clear pane of glass through which my light, my love, and my hope can shine into the dark and broken places of the world. The peace you find with me in this room is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to be shared. The comfort I give you is a gift you are to re-gift to others. So yes, look out your window. See the world. But then, let me empower you to step out your door, carrying my presence within you, and become a beacon of my love to every person you meet. My child, within this room, your body has sometimes felt more like a prison than a home. I am acutely aware of every physical pain you endure here. I know the chronic ache that is your constant, unwelcome companion. I know the sharp, sudden pain that takes your breath away. I know the exhaustion from an illness that drains your strength and clouds your mind. I have sat with you through the long, lonely hours of the night when pain made sleep impossible. I have watched you struggle just to get out of bed in the morning, your body protesting every move. In those moments, it is so easy to feel that you have been forgotten, that your prayers for relief have gone unanswered. You have cried out to God, "Don't you see this? Don't you care?" Oh, my beloved, not only do I see, I feel it with you. My heart aches with a divine empathy for your suffering. Please, do not think your pain is a punishment or a sign of my displeasure. My son, Jesus, was called a man of sorrows, acquainted with the deepest grief. He knew physical agony. The crown of thorns and the lashes on his back, the nails in his hands and feet. He took on the frailty and brokenness of the human body. He bore your infirmities. He carried your sicknesses, so that you would never have to suffer alone. I am Jehovah Rapha, the Lord who heals you. That is not just a name. It is the essence of my character. Sometimes, I bring miraculous healing on this earth, and the sickness vanishes in an instant. At other times, the healing is a gradual process through the hands of doctors and the gift of medicine. And sometimes, my child, the deepest healing I offer in this life is the supernatural grace to endure, a strength that is not your own that carries you through the pain. This is a profound mystery, but trust me, your suffering is not without purpose. In your weakness, my power is made perfect. And know this for certain, ultimate, complete, and eternal healing awaits you. A day coming where there will be no more tears, no more death, no more mourning, and no more pain. But until that day, do not let your suffering become your identity. Your pain is something you are experiencing. It is not who you are. Who you are is my cherished child, a victorious king or queen in my kingdom, and your true identity is rooted in me, who has already conquered all sickness and death forever. I am with you in the pain. I am your strength, and I am your healing. We are in the deepest chambers of your heart now, the places of your most sacred pain. It would wound my spirit if you were to retreat from this holy ground, just as I am beginning to bind up your deepest hurts. Do not leave me here alone with your sorrow. Let us finish this healing work together. This room has been your command center, hasn't it? The war room where you have wrestled with life-altering decisions. I have seen you pace this very floor, your mind a tangled web of possibilities and fears. I have been present for every pro and con list you have meticulously written, every attempt you have made to logically chart a course, to find the perfect, risk-free path forward. You analyze every angle, you calculate every potential outcome, trying desperately to control a future that feels so uncertain. The weight of these crossroads is immense, and you feel you must figure it all out on your own. You believe the right choice will lead to happiness and the wrong choice will lead to disaster, and the pressure of that is paralyzing. In the midst of your frantic calculations, I have heard your prayers. God, please just tell me what to do. Show me a clear sign. Write it in the sky. You long for an unmistakable, booming voice from heaven, a divine instruction manual that lays out every step. You want certainty in a world of variables. But my child, listen. So often, I do not speak in the earthquake or the fire. I speak in the still, small voice, the quiet knowing deep within your spirit. But you cannot hear that voice when your own mind is shouting with anxiety. The instruction I gave to the psalmist is my instruction for you now. Be still and know that I am God. That is not a passive suggestion. It is a direct command and the key to your breakthrough. I am asking you to stop the frantic striding. Be still. Quiet your own anxious thoughts. Cease your attempts to control every outcome. Stop leaning on your own limited understanding and, with all your heart, trust me. It is an act of profound courage to release your grip. I am not asking you to be irresponsible. I am asking you to do your part, and then to surrender the outcome to me. You may not see the entire journey ahead. In fact, I rarely show anyone the full path. I am not a GPS that gives you turn-by-turn directions for the next 10 years. I am a lamp for your feet and a light for your path. I will give you enough light for the next step. So take that step in faith, even if the staircase ahead is shrouded in mist. Do not be afraid of making a mistake. Your entire journey is held safely in my loving hands. Even a misstep can be redeemed and woven into my perfect plan. Trust me. Be still, and let me lead. Even when your body is still and your conscious mind is at rest, I am with you. I am the watchful guardian who sits beside you as you sleep, and I journey with you into the landscape of your dreams. In that unfiltered world where your subconscious speaks, I am there. I know the dreams that are jumbled and nonsensical, born from the remnants of your day. But I also know the dreams that are more. I know the aspirations and ambitions that surface when your defenses are down. That recurring dream you have, the one where you are standing before a crowd, or creating something beautiful, or living a life of peace and purpose, do not be so quick to dismiss it as mere fantasy. Often, these dreams are the language of the soul, a glimpse into the deepest desires I myself have placed within your heart. I am the giver of divine dreams and the one true interpreter of their meaning. The world offers books and theories to explain them, but only I know the specific message I am sending to you. You often wake from such a dream with a feeling of longing, followed quickly by a wave of discouragement. You look at your grand dream, and then you look at your current reality, and the distance between them feels like an impassable canyon. You see your limitations, your lack of resources, your past failures, and you think, it's impossible. That is the voice of human reasoning, but it is not the voice of divine truth. I want you to entrust your dreams to me. Bring them to me in the morning light, and lay them at my feet. The desires I have placed in your heart are not meant to taunt you. They are meant to guide you. They align with my celestial purpose for your life. Your part is to cherish them and move towards them in faith. My part is to do what you cannot. For I can do exceedingly, abundantly more than all you could ever ask or even imagine. The dream I have for you is even bigger and more beautiful than the one you have for yourself. But you must also learn discernment, and I will teach you. Not every dream that enters your mind is from me, my child. Some dreams are born from your anxieties, painting pictures of the very things you fear. Others are born from your pride or your selfish desires. Come to me. Ask me for wisdom. I will give you the spiritual discernment to distinguish between a holy ambition from heaven and a distracting desire from your own flesh or from the enemy. Let us talk about your dreams. Tell me what they are. Together, we will uncover the ones that are from me, and together, we will see them come to pass. Now, let your eyes wander around this room. I see them, even if you try not to. I see that half-finished project tucked away in the corner, the one you started with such passion and excitement. I see the musical instrument gathering dust, a silent testament to a skill you meant to practice. I know about the language learning app on your phone that you haven't opened in months. I see the journal with only the first few pages filled, and the list of goals you wrote with such hope at the beginning of the year, now buried beneath a pile of mail. Every time your gaze falls upon one of these unfinished things, a familiar voice of shame whispers in your ear, doesn't it? It calls you a failure. It says you are undisciplined, that you lack follow-through, that you never finish what you start. This voice of condemnation has paralyzed you, making you afraid to even begin something new for fear that it too will end up on the pile of abandoned dreams. My beloved child, you must know that this harsh, critical voice is not mine. Where you see a graveyard of your failures, I see something entirely different. I see a journey, a process, with necessary pauses, learning curves, and divine pivots. Perhaps you stopped that project because the timing was not yet right. Perhaps I needed to teach you something else first, something that will be essential for its completion later. Perhaps that forgotten goal was not truly the desire I had for you, and my spirit was gently leading you in a different direction by removing your passion for it. Do not look at these things as evidence of your failure. See them as part of your story, a story that I am authoring. I am, after all, the author and the finisher of your faith. This applies not just to your spiritual life, but to the very works I have prepared in advance for you to do. Where you lack the strength to continue, I will provide it. Where you lack the inspiration to create, I will be your muse. Where you lack the discipline to persevere, my spirit will be your guide and your sustainer. You have been trying to muster up the willpower all on your own, believing it is a test of your character. But the true test is not of your strength, but of your surrender. It is I who work in you, both to will and to act according to my good purpose. So I invite you today to see these unfinished things with new eyes. Let us finish this work together. Pick up that project again, not with the grim, white-knuckled determination of your own strength, but with the joyful, peaceful expectation of my divine help. My timing is always perfect, and perhaps the perfect time to begin again is now. Even when this room is filled with your favorite things, with music playing and lights on, there are moments when it feels cavernously empty, aren't there? I am talking about an emptiness that has nothing to do with the physical space. It is a quiet ache deep in your soul, a feeling of profound loneliness that can haunt you even when you are in a crowd, and especially when you are here by yourself. It is a sense that something vital is missing. You have tried so hard, for so long, to fill that void. You are a master at it. You fill it with the noise and distraction of television, scrolling through hours of content to keep the silence at bay. You fill it with work, believing that the next achievement or promotion will finally make you feel whole. You fill it with hobbies, with shopping, with food, with anything that provides a temporary sense of pleasure or fulfillment. You have even tried to fill it with people, hoping that the perfect relationship, the perfect friend, will finally complete you and chase the emptiness away for good. But it never works, does it? The pleasure fades, the achievement feels hollow, the person lets you down, and the ache always returns, sometimes even stronger than before. My beloved, I want to tell you the secret of this sacred emptiness. The reason you have failed to fill it is because it is not meant to be filled by anything in this world. I know this because I am the one who created it. I designed your heart with a God-shaped space, a holy vacuum that only I can occupy. It is an infinite need that can only be satisfied by my infinite love. Trying to fill it with finite things, possessions, experiences, even other people, is like trying to fill the vastness of the Grand Canyon with a single bucket of sand. It is a futile and exhausting task. I see how weary you have become from this endless, fruitless search. And so, I am giving you the invitation your soul has been longing to hear. Stop. Stop striving. Stop searching. Stop trying to numb the ache. Turn to me. Come, all you who are weary and heavy laden with the burden of your own insufficiency, and I will give you rest for your souls. The profound peace, the deep sense of belonging, the feeling of being completely and utterly whole that you have been chasing your entire life is not found out there. It is found in here, in me. In this very room, at this very moment, you can surrender your exhausting search. Let me fill that empty space. Let my love pour in and finally make you whole. I am with you in the dramatic moments of your life, in the great victories and the deep sorrows. But I am also with you in the moments in between. I am present in your boredom. I know that feeling that descends on a quiet afternoon, when the errands are done, the work is finished, and there is nothing demanding your immediate attention. It is a feeling of restlessness, of being uninspired. You pace this room, picking things up and putting them down, feeling like you are waiting for something to happen, but you don't know what. You call this boredom, and you see it as a negative state, an empty, wasted period of time that must be escaped as quickly as possible. Your immediate instinct is to fill the void. You reach for your phone. You turn on the television. You search for any distraction that will make the feeling go away. The modern world has taught you to fear the quiet, to despise the mundane. But my child, I want to transform your understanding of these moments. What you call boredom, I call an invitation. In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention with endless notifications and demands, a moment of unscheduled quiet is a rare and precious gift. It is a space that I have intentionally cleared in your life so that you might have the opportunity to go deeper with me. The noise of your life has been momentarily silenced. Can you hear me now? I am asking you to resist the frantic urge to immediately fill the silence. The next time that restless, bored feeling comes upon you in this room, try something new. Do not reach for a distraction. Instead, simply sit. Sit in the quiet. Sit in the stillness. Acknowledge the restlessness. And then, turn your heart toward me. Ask me, Father, what are you trying to say to me in this quiet moment? It is in these mundane, uneventful seasons, free from drama and distraction, that you can best hear my still, small voice. It is in the margin between the notes of your busy life that the most beautiful melodies can be heard. I can take your monotony and turn it into a sacred meeting place. I can transform your restlessness into a holy attentiveness. Do not despise the quiet seasons of your life. Do not run from the gift of an empty moment. It is precisely in that emptiness that I am waiting to fill you with myself. I am revealing the very blueprint for your purpose, the divine map for your future. To turn away now is to willingly choose to wander in confusion. It disappoints me not with anger, but with a father's sorrow for a child who chooses a lesser path when a kingdom is being offered. Stay, for your true destiny is what we will speak of next. Every room has a unique fragrance, a scent composed of the person who lives there and the life that is lived within its walls. I am aware of the scent of this room. It is uniquely yours. But there is another kind of aroma here, one that can only be perceived by the Spirit, and it is of far greater importance to me. In the Scriptures, the prayers of my people are described as rising to my throne like sweet, fragrant incense. When you speak to me from a sincere and humble heart, as you are doing now by simply listening, your words release a holy aroma that fills this space and brings me great delight. When you perform an act of love, when you choose forgiveness over bitterness, when you serve someone without expecting anything in return, these actions release a pleasing fragrance, a spiritual scent that is precious to me. My ultimate desire, my beloved, is for your entire life to become a fragrance of Christ to a world that is suffocating in the stench of hopelessness and decay. I want people to encounter you and to sense something different, something pure, something life-giving, the very aroma of my presence. So I ask you, what is the spiritual scent of this room today? Let this be a place where the scent of holiness lingers long after you have left. For that to happen, we must be honest about anything that smells foul in the eyes of heaven. A hidden habit you are ashamed of, a secret resentment you are nursing in your heart, an unconfessed sin. These things, my child, create a spiritual stench. They grieve my Holy Spirit and pollute the atmosphere of this sacred space. You have become so used to the smell that you may not even notice it anymore, but it is a barrier between us, a foul odor that hinders true intimacy. I am not pointing this out to shame you. I am revealing it because I want to cleanse you. I want to remove the source of the odor. I invite you now, in the safety of my presence, to confess whatever it is that is polluting your spirit. Bring it into the light. Confession is the act of agreeing with me that the thing is foul and needs to be removed. As you confess, the cleansing power of my forgiveness washes not only your heart but this very room, removing the stain and the stench. Let us clear the air together, so that only the pure, sweet aroma of grace, peace, and my holy presence remains. I see the calendar you have hanging on the wall, or perhaps the one that lives on your phone, its digital boxes filled with your plans and obligations. I see the appointments, the deadlines, the reminders you set. You look at that grid and you feel the pressure of the coming days, the weight of a future you are trying so hard to manage and control. You schedule and you plan, believing that if you can just organize your time perfectly, you can build a fortress against the unexpected, a defense against chaos. But my child, look closer. Those plans, those calendars, they are but a faint shadow of my sovereign will. Your future is not truly held within those neat squares. It is held in the palm of my loving hands. I know the anxiety that grips you when you look ahead. You worry about that important meeting next week, replaying it in your mind, trying to anticipate every question. You feel a knot in your stomach when you think about a family gathering next month, fearing a repeat of old conflicts. You look at the year stretching out before you, and you wonder, will I have enough? Will I be okay? Will I be alone? Do not let your heart be troubled by these shadows of tomorrow. I am already there. Your future is not made secure by your meticulous planning, but by my unbreakable promise. Before you were born, All the days ordained for you were written in my book before one of them came to be. I am not a passive observer of your life. I am its loving architect. You are on a grand journey, my beloved, and this room, as comfortable and familiar as it is not your final destination. It is merely a temporary tent, a stopping place along the way. Think of it like that. It provides shelter for a season, but it is not your permanent home. I am preparing a room for you in my Father's house, a place so glorious it makes the grandest palace on earth look like a dusty shack. A place where there is no anxiety, no fear, no loss, and no deadlines. A place where you will be fully known and will experience a joy that is beyond your current comprehension. Your true citizenship is in heaven. Understanding this changes everything. It puts the worries of today in their proper perspective. That deadline that feels life or death, that conflict that feels all-consuming, they are real, but they are temporary. They are part of the journey, not the destination. So yes, make your plans. Be a good steward of the time I have given you. But hold those plans loosely. Trust my process. Do not be anxious about tomorrow. Your loving Father, who holds all of your tomorrows, is with you today, and He will provide everything you need. Now that you understand that this room is but a temporary tent, you may feel the holy urgency to invest in what is eternal. I have commanded you, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, and in this moment, I am opening the storehouses of heaven for you to fill. Every seed you sow into this ministry on earth sends my voice, my very presence, into another temporary room, another lonely heart, securing for them an eternal inheritance. This is your divine appointment to transform a fleeting, earthly resource into an everlasting soul. I now release a blessing of multiplication upon your earthly storehouses because you understand how to invest in my heavenly one. Act on this revelation. Sow into the eternal through super thanks, membership, with a link below, and lay out for yourselves treasures that will never fade. Somewhere in this room, there is a copy of my word. I see it. Perhaps it rests on your nightstand, its cover softened with use, its pages filled with your highlights and notes, a testament to our many conversations. Or maybe, my child, it sits on a bookshelf, untouched for some time, gathering a thin layer of dust, a silent symbol of a connection that has felt distant. I see it, and I am not here to bring a word of judgment about its condition, but to lovingly remind you of what it truly is. That object you call a Bible is not merely a book. It is not just a collection of ancient stories, a list of religious rules, or a source of inspirational quotes. It is a living thing. It is my love letter to you. It is a covenant, a sacred blood-sealed promise of my unending, passionate, and faithful love for you. Within its pages is the epic story of how far I will go, and have already gone, to rescue you, to redeem you, and to have a deep, intimate relationship with you. You tell me you long to hear my voice, that you wish I would give you clear guidance for your life. My beloved, my voice is waiting for you, captured in that very book. You find me in its pages. You find my character, my promises, my wisdom, and my heart for you. I am here, in your room, right now, extending a gentle invitation. Open it. Open it not as a chore you must complete, but as an opportunity to sit down with me and have a conversation. Do not read it like a textbook to be studied for a test. Read it with the expectation of meeting with me, the living God who loves you. When you read of my power, believe that same power is available to you. When you read of my comfort, receive that comfort for your specific anxieties. Every single one of the thousands of promises in that book finds its ultimate fulfillment in my Son, Jesus. and in Him, their answer to you is always yes. The promise of strength when you feel weak. Yes. The promise of peace when you are in turmoil. Yes. The promise of wisdom when you are confused and at a crossroads. Yes, 1,000 times yes. They are all yours. So let my word be what you reach for in the morning before your phone. Let it be the last thing you see at night. Let it be a lamp for your feet and a light for your path, illuminating your next step, beginning right here, in the holy sanctuary of your room. This room has been a silent witness to your deepest relational pains. It has absorbed the tears you have cried over words that were said and words that were left unsaid. I have sat here with you in the aftermath of a painful phone call, watching as you stared at the wall, feeling misunderstood and alone. I have seen you pace this floor, analyzing a conversation with a friend, trying to decipher every nuance, wondering what you did wrong to create such a distance between you. This room has held your weeping over the fracture in your family, a conflict that seems so entrenched and hopeless that reconciliation feels impossible. The pain of broken relationships is a unique and terrible sorrow, my child, because you were created for connection, for love, for unity. When those bonds are broken, it tears at the very fabric of your soul. I want you to know that I see your hurt. I validate your pain. It is real, and it is deep. But I am not just a sympathetic observer of your pain. I am the great reconciler. My entire mission, culminating in the cross, was about reconciling a broken relationship between God and humanity. I am the expert in mending what has been shattered. I can build a bridge across the widest chasms of bitterness and misunderstanding. But my work in your relationships requires your participation. It begins with a difficult, supernatural act. I am calling you to love those who have hurt you. I am calling you to forgive them. I know, as you hear this, your heart may scream, "Impossible. You don't know what they did." Oh, but I do. And the love and forgiveness I am asking you to extend is not a feeling you have to muster up. It is a choice you make, empowered by my Spirit. I am not asking you to do anything I have not first done for you. I loved you when you were my enemy. I forgave you for a debt so massive you could never repay it. My grace, the grace you have received, is the powerful glue that can repair the most broken bonds in your own life. You cannot change another person's heart. You cannot force an apology or manufacture reconciliation. That is my job. Your job is to surrender the situation to me and trust that broken relationship into my hands. Release your right to be angry. Let go of your bitterness, which is only poisoning you. Pray for them. And then, let me begin my work of reconciliation in my time and in my way, a work that may begin, surprisingly, in the healing of your own heart. For all this time we have been speaking here in your room, I have been more than a companion, more than a comforter. I have been here with a divine purpose. I do not just want to visit your life, I want to inhabit it. I am not here merely to observe your struggles. I am here to reign over them. My child, look around you. This room, your heart, your work, your relationships, your future, this entire life of yours is the kingdom I wish to rule. Not with the iron fist of a tyrant, but with the gentle, loving hand of a benevolent king. And so today, in this sacred space, I am extending to you the most important invitation you will ever receive. It is the invitation to surrender. I know that word may frighten you. In your world, surrender means to lose, to give up, to be defeated. You have spent your whole life fighting for control, believing that your safety and happiness depend on your ability to manage every outcome. The thought of letting go feels like the ultimate risk. But with me, surrender is the opposite of defeat. It is the beginning of your greatest victory. True freedom is not found in the exhausting, white-knuckled grip of control. Look how anxious and tired it has made you. True, profound freedom is found only in a joyful, trusting submission to your loving Creator, the one who knows you perfectly, loves you infinitely, and has a flawless plan for your good. So what does this surrender look like? It means you surrender your frantic plans to control the future. You surrender your crippling fears that keep you awake at night. You surrender your stubborn will, your deep-seated insistence that you know what is best for you. It is a conscious choice to stop fighting. It is the act of opening your clenched fists and turning your palms toward heaven in a posture of release. Imagine, right here in the center of your room, an invisible cross is standing. The cross is where I took all of your striving, all of your sin, all of your burdens. I am asking you now, in your heart, to walk over to it. One by one, take the heavy burdens you are carrying, the worry about your finances, the pain of that broken relationship, the fear of failure, and lay them down at the foot of that cross. The weight is too much for you. It is crushing you. Let me take it. This is the great exchange. You give me your burdens, and I give you my peace. So I ask you directly and with all the love in my being, will you make me the Lord of this room? And more than that, will you finally, fully, make me the Lord of your life? I have just laid before you the invitation to surrender, the key to your total freedom. To hear this and then walk away would break my heart, like a groom left waiting at the altar. I'm offering you everything. Do not dishonor such a profound gift by becoming distracted now. Stay with me. Let me show you the glory that follows your yes. You have been taught, perhaps, that to truly encounter me, you must enter a special building. A church, a cathedral, a place with stained glass windows and reverent silence. These places can be wonderful and holy, and I meet my people there. But my child, listen to this liberating truth. You do not need a cathedral to worship me. After the sacrifice of my Son, the veil that separated humanity from my holy presence was torn in two. My spirit no longer dwells in buildings made of stone and wood. My spirit dwells within you. This means that any place you are becomes a potential sanctuary. Any space can become holy ground. I want you to start seeing this very room differently from this moment forward. I am inviting you to let this space become a holy altar of praise. This is not about building a physical structure or lighting candles, unless those things help your heart. It is about consecrating the ordinary moments and the ordinary objects of your life to me. Let's do it now. Consecrate your bed. Let it be not only a place where your body sleeps, but a holy altar where you find deep, spiritual rest in me, releasing your anxieties and trusting me to watch over you. Consecrate your desk. Let it be not just a place where you work or study, but a holy altar where you offer your skills and talents back to me. Doing your work with excellence is an act of worship. This is what it means to offer your life as a living sacrifice. It is not a grim or morbid thing. It is the joyful act of offering me the parts of your everyday life. Offer me your thoughts as you sit in that chair. Offer me your time as you get ready for your day. Offer me your conversations that take place within these walls. This is your true and proper worship. A divine encounter with the living God is not something you have to wait for on a Sunday. It can happen right here, on a normal weekday, in the privacy of your own room. Because worship is not an event you attend, it is a life you live. It is the ongoing, moment-by-moment conversation between your heart and mine. Let that life of worship begin anew, today. Let it start right here, in this room, on this holy altar. My child, It is time for us to talk about the shadow that lives in this room with you. The secret you guard so fiercely, the struggle you are convinced makes you unworthy of my love. I am talking about the habit that has wrapped its chains around you, the cycle that leaves you feeling powerless and filled with a deep, corrosive shame. I see it. I am not blind to it, and I am not shocked by it. I have been here with you in the late hours of the night when the temptation whispers your name. I have been here during the moments you gave in, seeking a fleeting comfort or a temporary escape from your pain. And I have been here afterwards, in the suffocating silence, when the wave of self-loathing washed over you, a feeling so strong you could barely breathe. You have told yourself 100 times, 1,000 times, this is the last time. You have tried with all your might to break free, using every ounce of your willpower, only to find yourself back in the same trap. You look at this part of your life, and you see irrefutable proof of your weakness. You see a fatal flaw, a source of endless shame. But listen to me. Where you see your greatest shame, I see an opportunity for my greatest glory. Your weakness is not something you must hide from me. It is the very thing that qualifies you for my divine strength. My power is made perfect. It is most brilliantly displayed in the places where you are weak. You have believed the lie that you must clean yourself up before you can come to me, but that is impossible. You have been trying to fight this immense battle all on your own, and that is why you keep failing. You cannot do this alone. I never intended for you to. I am here to fight with you, and for you. The blood of my Son, Jesus, is not a distant historical fact or a mere religious symbol. It is the single most powerful, active, and cleansing agent in the universe. It is more powerful than your addiction. It is stronger than your shame. It is capable of severing every chain that binds you. So I am inviting you now, in the safety and privacy of this room, to take the first step. Confess. Speak the name of your struggle out loud, not to shame yourself, but to bring it out of the darkness and into my light. Repent. This is not a word of condemnation. It simply means to agree with me that this path leads to death and to turn your heart, your desire, toward me, the source of life. And then, receive my complete forgiveness, which washes away all your shame. Receive my supernatural strength to face the next moment of temptation. I am Jehovah Giver, the mighty God, your warrior and your deliverer. Surrender this fight to me, and watch as I break the chains. In the quiet moments in this room, have you ever stopped to wonder where a new idea comes from? I see the way you rearrange the furniture until it feels just right, creating a space of peace and order. I hear the melody you hum to yourself without thinking, a tune that didn't exist a moment before. I see the innovative solution you came up with for that complex problem at work, the one that made you see everything in a new light. I see the words you write, the pictures you draw, the way you combine flavors when you cook. Where do you think these creative impulses come from? You might think they are just random thoughts, but they are not. They are echoes of my own nature, placed deep within your soul. That impulse to create, to bring something new into existence, to bring beauty out of plainness and order out of chaos, that is a direct reflection of who I am. I am the ultimate creator. I spoke, and light fractured the darkness. I imagined, and galaxies swirled into being. I formed, and a world teeming with intricate life and breathtaking beauty came to be. And then, in my greatest act of creation, I made you. And the scripture is clear. I made you in my own image. This is a truth so profound it should make you tremble with wonder. It means I have placed a spark of my own divine, creative fire within you. You have bought the world's lie that creativity belongs only to a special class of people called artists or musicians or writers. You look at your own life, your ordinary job, your daily routines, and you say, "But I'm not creative." My child, that is not true. Your creativity may not look like a painting in a museum, but it is there. The way you thoughtfully encourage a friend who is hurting is a creative act of healing. The way you find a way to make your budget work is a creative act of stewardship. The way you bring joy and laughter into a tense situation is a creative act of peacemaking. Do not despise the gifts I have given you. Do not bury your talents out of fear or comparison. Whether you feel you have been given 5 talents or 1, my desire is the same. Use what I have given you. Use your unique gifts to bring more beauty, more truth, and more hope into a world that is starving for them. Let this room be more than just a place to sleep. Let it become your workshop, your studio, your laboratory. What new thing can we co-create together today, you and I? I want you to travel back with me for a moment. Let's leave the present anxieties and worries behind and return to a sacred memory. Can you remember it? Can you remember the moment you first truly, consciously, invited me into your heart? For some, it is a dramatic memory, a tearful crisis, a moment of hitting rock bottom. For others, it was a quiet dawning, a gentle realization. Perhaps it even happened right here in this very room, in the stillness of the night. The specific circumstances do not matter. Close your eyes and try to remember the feeling. Do you remember the profound sense of relief, as if a weight you had been carrying your entire life was suddenly lifted? Do you remember the feeling of peace, the sense of finally coming home after a long and weary journey? You may have thought you were alone when you whispered that simple, trembling prayer of surrender. But I was there, leaning in, listening with all the attention of heaven. And in the instant you said yes, a celebration erupted in the spiritual realm that was louder and more joyous than any party on earth. The angels sang, not just for a soul being saved, but for your soul being saved. Now, open your eyes. Look around this room. My presence with you here, today, is not a new or temporary visit. It is a direct and unbroken continuation of that sacred moment. The relationship that we began then has never, for 1 second, ceased. I know there have been times you have felt distant from me. There have been seasons when you have wandered, when your heart has grown cold, when you have chased after other things. But even then, I never moved. I have never left you, nor have I ever forsaken you. That is my covenant promise to you. Perhaps as you sit here now, the memory of that first love feels faint. The fire that once burned so brightly may feel like it has dwindled to just a few glowing embers. You may look at your struggles and your failures and think, I've lost it. I'm not the same person I was then. My child, you are right in one sense. You are not the same. You have been tested, but you have not lost my love or my grace. The same radical, unmerited, powerful grace that saved you in that first moment is the exact same grace that is here with you, sustaining you, right now. It has not diminished one bit. So I am calling you, in the words I gave to my servant Paul, fan into flame the gift of God which is in you. Remember what it felt like to be fully known and perfectly loved. That love has not changed. It has not faded. It is here for you now, as real, as present, and as powerful as it was on that very first day. My beloved child, we have spent this precious time together in the sanctuary of your room. We have explored your heart. I have poured my comfort, my healing, and my strength into you. But now I must tell you the purpose of this intimate encounter. All the peace and power I am giving you is not meant to be hoarded and kept within these four walls. My presence here is not meant to lull you into a comfortable, permanent isolation from the world. No, I am filling you up in this private space for the express purpose of you being poured out as a blessing in the public square. Think of this room as your training ground. It is your spiritual locker room, the place where you meet with your coach, receive the game plan, and have your wounds tended to. It is a vital, essential, and holy place. But the game is not played in the locker room. This room is your base camp, but it is not the mountain you are called to climb. You were not created to live out your faith in hiding. A lamp is not lit to be placed under a basket, but on a stand, where it gives light to all who are in the house. So now, as your loving Father and your commanding officer, I am commissioning you. Just as I once stood on a mountain in Galilee and told my disciples, "Go into all the world," I am now standing with you in this room and giving you the same great commission. It may not mean traveling to a foreign land. It means walking out your front door. The world right outside your window is in turmoil. It is filled with your colleagues, your neighbors, and your family members who are drowning in anxiety, starving for hope, and crippled by fear. I am asking you to take the profound peace you have found here with me and to carry it into those places of turmoil. I am asking you to be my hands, offering a practical word of help to someone in need. I am asking you to be my feet, walking across the room to sit with someone who is lonely. I am asking you to be my voice, speaking a word of truth and encouragement to a soul that is starving for it. This is not a burden I am placing on you. It is the greatest privilege. It is the life of purpose you have been craving. And as you prepare to go forth from this room, know this with absolute certainty. You do not go alone. I go with you, always, to the very end of the age. I have just armed you for your mission and called you my ambassador. To stop listening now would be like a soldier abandoning his post right before the final victory is won. It would grieve my heart to see you accept my armor but refuse my final, empowering instructions. Stay until the very end. Your complete victory depends on it. My child, after all that we have discussed in this room, your hidden victories, your secret struggles, your deepest fears, and your greatest dreams, I need to bring you back to the single most important truth upon which everything else is built. If you hear nothing else I say, hear this. My love for you is completely, totally, and utterly unconditional. It is not a fragile thing that depends on your behavior. My love for you does not increase when you are good, and it does not decrease when you fail. It is constant, perfect, and eternal. My love does not depend on the cleanliness of this room, and it most certainly does not depend on the cleanliness of your life. I was here, loving you before you even knew my name. I was here, loving you, on your best day, that day when your faith felt strong, your heart was full of kindness, and everything you did seemed to be right. I was here, and my love for you was a boundless ocean. And I was here, loving you, on your worst day, that day when you were filled with anger and selfishness, the day you made that mistake you are still so ashamed of, the day you gave into the temptation and your heart was filled with despair. I was here on that day too, and my love for you was a boundless ocean. Are you hearing me, my beloved? Nothing you can ever do will make me love you more, because I already love you with a perfect love. And absolutely nothing you can ever do will make me love you less. My love is not a reward for your good performance. It is a free gift born from my very character. It is who I am. The sun does not shine because the earth is good. The sun shines because it is its nature to shine. I love you because it is my very nature to love. I am calling you today to stop striving to earn a love that is already yours. Stop punishing yourself for your failures, believing they have disqualified you from my affection. I am inviting you to simply rest in this truth. Let this be the solid rock foundation upon which you build your entire life. When you succeed, you can celebrate, not because you have earned my love, but because you are living out your identity as my beloved child. When you fail, you can receive my grace and get back up, not because you fear losing my love, but because you know it is secure. Your circumstances do not define you. Your performance does not define you. My unconditional love for you is what defines you. You are my beloved child, in whom I am well pleased, not because of what you have done, but simply because of who you are, mine. Look back for a moment, not with regret, but with new eyes. Think of the story that has unfolded within these walls. Remember that season of unexpected joy, when your heart felt so full and light you thought it might burst. It felt like a gift that came out of nowhere. And remember that season of sudden, devastating sorrow, when the floor fell out from under you and the pain was so intense you could not imagine ever feeling happy again. It felt like a cruel, random blow. From your perspective, here on the ground, your life can feel like a series of disconnected events. A chaotic mix of good fortune and bad luck, of happy accidents and tragic twists of fate. You try to make sense of it, to find a pattern, but it often looks like a tangled, meaningless mess. You have wondered if there is any point to it all, if anyone is truly in control. My child, I want you to lean in and hear this profound truth. What looks like chaos to you is a divine composition to me. I am the master weaver, and I am sitting at the great loom of your life. Every event you have experienced, every person you have met, every joy that made you sing, and every sorrow that brought you to your knees, each one is a single thread. You, my beloved, are standing on the underside of the tapestry. All you can see is a chaotic jumble of knots, loose ends, and threads that seem to go nowhere. You see colors that clash and patterns that make no sense. From your vantage point, the work looks messy, confusing, and perhaps even ugly. You cannot see the magnificent image that is emerging on the other side. But I see it. I have the master design, and I see the breathtaking picture your life is becoming. You look at the darkest threads with fear and regret. The thread of a painful loss. The thread of a past mistake you are so ashamed of. The thread of a deep suffering that you endured. You think these ugly, broken threads have ruined the entire tapestry. But in my hands, nothing is wasted. It is precisely these dark threads that I use to create the depth, the contrast, and the richness of the final masterpiece. The beauty of the final design would be impossible without them. I am redeeming every broken part of your story. So I ask you, will you trust my process? Will you trust me, the weaver, even when you cannot see or understand the pattern? I promise you, my plan for you is good. It is a plan to give you hope and a future. Your story, the one being written and witnessed within these walls, will ultimately become a magnificent tapestry that brings me glory and reveals my redemptive power and breathtaking love to the world. My precious child, as our conversation in this room draws to a close for now, I want you to understand the foundation upon which it is all built. It is no accident, no coincidence, that this is the 33rd part of our talk. For 33 years my only son, Jesus, walked this dusty earth. Every step he took, every blind eye he opened, every leper he cleansed, every meal he shared with sinners, every word of truth he spoke, it was all for a single, glorious purpose: to make this very moment, this intimate, personal communion between you and me, possible. Before he came, a thick, heavy veil hung in the temple, a constant, physical reminder of the separation between a holy God and a sinful humanity. It was a barrier that no one could pass. You were on one side, and I was on the other. But on the cross, when he breathed his last and declared it is finished, that veil was not gently pulled aside. The scriptures say it was torn in two, from the top to the bottom. That was my hand, tearing it, making a thunderous declaration to all of creation that the separation is over. Because of his sacrifice, my holy presence is no longer confined to a building made of stone. I am now free to make my home in a temple of flesh and blood, in you. My Holy Spirit has taken up residence within your very being. This is the miracle of the new covenant. And my presence here with you, in this room, at this very moment, is a direct and personal fulfillment of my Son's final promise to his disciples, and surely, I am with you always, to the very end of the age. This is not a temporary visit. I am not a guest in your life who will pack up and leave when things get difficult. Our relationship is an eternal, abiding covenant, sealed forever in the precious blood of my Son. So look around you. This room, this ordinary space has become a sanctuary, not because of its beautiful decorations or its perfect cleanliness, but because the living God resides within the person who inhabits it. You carry the Holy of Holies with you wherever you go. The same power that raised Christ from the dead now lives in you. So rest now, my beloved child. Rest. The striving to be good enough is over. The struggle to earn my love is over. The separation is over. Rest in the finished work of my Son. Rest in my unending presence and my unconditional love. I am here, and I will be with you forever. Amen. Now that you rest in the finished work of my Son and my abiding presence, you may feel a holy fire to share this glorious news with a world trapped in striving. This fire is my own Spirit, calling you to partner with me. For I have sent you just as the Father sent me, and I have declared, freely you have received, freely give. Your gift is not a donation. It is the manna that will feed a starving soul, the oil that will keep the lamp of this ministry burning brightly in the darkest corners of the earth. The veil is torn, and the world must know. As you release this provision, I declare that your own oil and flour will not run dry, and the fire of my Spirit will burn ever brighter in your home. Answer the call. Fuel this great commission now through Super Thanks membership, with a link below, and let your gift be the sound of the trumpet proclaiming my return. This holy conversation does not end when my voice fades, for my presence remains. I have declared that I am in your room. Now, I call you to claim this truth as your own. Let the heavens hear and the earth bear witness to your faith. With boldness, I want you to write and declare for all to see, He is in my room right now. Make this not just a comment, but a spiritual banner raised in victory. Do it now, and seal this divine encounter in your spirit forever. Amen.